Hopefully you can actually see me, because I've dropped 70% of my frames already and we're 8 minutes in. Congratulations to Seamus for being the official first and Suspenders is the official second. We do not have an official third yet. If frames keep dropping like this, I don't know if you're gonna be able to actually watch me bake. I have a feeling that Friday, oh my God, Friday I have something major planned too. Friday morning, Seamus might be banging down Spectrum's door. Opal, you're the official third. I can make a 3. Congratulations. Maybe this is another case where you can hear me, you just can't see me very well, because I know that happens. But let me just say, looking down and realizing I've dropped more frames than I've streamed is really pissing me off. But like, I'm already needing to do the baking is gonna happen one way or another because I have to do it for Thanksgiving. I just wanted to share my first ever apple pie with you guys, you know? But you can see me fine, that's good. Because according to my friggin' OBS, we're bouncing like crazy. Crazy. Like absolutely crazy. And normally that means things are choppy and hiccupy and buffering and just not a good time. So, I don't know. I am sick and tired of Spectrum having shit internet though. Because we pay for better than this. We pay good money for better than this. So, yeah. Like right now, I'm in the red. I'm in the red. It's on the struggle bus. I can look at my stats. It's not my computer, it's literally Spectrum. So, As long as everything looks okay and sounds okay, we can continue, and hopefully I don't get boned for content out of this, because that's the thing that annoys me the most, right? Aside from wanting to provide quality content to you guys, when I go to look at the VODs, I can't actually use anything if it's stutter, 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 stutter. You can hear me talking, but the video's frozen, whoosh! Like, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So, there's that. There's that. And of course, I am running late today. I have not been able to get out of my own way for the last 2 days. It is just one of those weeks, right? Too much to do, not enough brain power to manage all of it. And I really thought I was tracking beautifully for being on time, and then I don't know, I must have just procrastinated in the nice warm shower I was taking or something, and I got out and I was like, I'm not gonna make it on time. So there's that. Maybe the connection has stabilized. I do see that the drop frames quantity are dropping, like percentage, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So yes, today is apple pie. Today is apple pie, and somehow, despite living in New York, where apple orchards are everywhere, like apple picking is a statewide pastime, I've never actually made apple pie. I've eaten plenty. I've just never made one. Outside of, I made apple pie cookies with my bestie once, and I was there when she made... No, did she actually make apple pie? I think she only made apple crisp, now that I think about it. I don't think she's ever actually made an apple pie with me there either. So, I've eaten plenty. I've never made one. My plan is to do lattice for the top, so that'll be fun. I will admit this one is like a little bit of a daunting pie, not because it's gonna be difficult, because if you looked at the recipe in the Discord, you'll see it's pretty simple. It's daunting because I don't like peeling and coring apples. Don't ask me. I don't get it either. I just don't like it. So, you know, we'll make do with what we got. But the first step with apple pie is, of course, pie crust. Now, this recipe does call for a deep dish pie plate. I am taking this someplace for Thanksgiving, so we've got a beautiful disposable pie. And these guys, they're not deep. They're not deep at all. I have deep dish pie plates. I have zero desire to take a glass pie dish someplace and then have to transport it back. Zero desire. I really like it when I'm taking pie somewhere to be consumed to use disposables, because then if we eat all of the pie, we don't have to wash the pie plate like super good. We rinse it and put it in for recycling, right? But I don't need to scrub it. It doesn't have to be put away. I don't have to take it home. Like, if we eat all the pie, it gets rinsed and put into the recycling at the location. And it's one less thing that I have to carry home. So I really like disposable pie plates, but that being the case, it's not deep. I'm going to cut up probably more apples than I need, and I'm gonna have more pie crust than I need. So my plan is to save any excess to make like little apple turnovers. So I'll roll out the excess pie dough, I'll cut it in half, I'll spread apple on it. I will smush down a lid, cut slits in it, and bake them, and they'll be delicious for whenever Seamus and I want to eat them, because tomorrow is Food Fest, aka Thanksgiving here in the States, and we're going to be gorging ourselves on glorious, glorious Thanksgiving food. Honestly, I think Thanksgiving of all the holidays has the best food. So pie crust first. I've had DH, hello, Hazard Demenis, hello. I almost tripped up on that da in the middle of your name. How are you guys? Welcome in. I've had my butter sitting out for a little bit, so it's good and squeezable. It's almost too warm. Almost. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. So pie crust. We're starting with pie crust. This is my mom's. The crust recipe that she used, it came from my dad's mother, my paternal grandmother. It does call for Crisco. I will be substituting it with butter. So 3 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, which I will reduce to 1 teaspoon of salt because your girl likes salted butter, okay? I don't like buying a specific kind of butter just for baking. I like buying the butter that I use in my day-to-day life so that if I don't use the whole stick and I put it back in the fridge, I can use the same stick for whatever I need, whether it's refilling the butter dish or oiling a pan up before I fry an egg or whatever else needs butter, right? So I will reduce that to 1 teaspoon because I don't want to compete with the butter. So 1 teaspoon of salt for me, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's 2 sticks and 2 lines for the tablespoons on a stick of butter. Wee woo. You were playing Hollow Knight on Nintendo? Let's go. Hey, Kags. And 6 tablespoons of cold water. That's what it takes to make this pie crust. So it says to combine the flour and the salt and blah, 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 blah. First step, butter into bowl. Do I want to do butter into bowl first? No, I lied. We'll do the flour and the salt first. So it's 3 cups of flour. I need my big old measure cup. I also will not be sifting this. I see no purpose to this. You're doing a baking experiment right now, Opal? What kind of baking experiment? So, yes, it's a liquid measure, but 3 cups is 3 cups is 3 cups. The issue really lies in the fact that it is flour, and the humidity in the air changes the density of flour, whether or not it is light and fluffy or not quite as much and it packs in tighter. So that's why it's actually more accurate to weigh flour, but YOLO. This is how I've grown up doing it. This is how I will continue to do it. Unless I have a recipe that doesn't have a cup measurement, in which case I'll weigh. I put 1/2 teaspoon of lemon extract into a batch of cornbread. An interesting choice for cornbread. An interesting choice for cornbread indeed. Yeah, that's 3 cups. Give that a little shake down. I want you to know, by the way, I've done enough baking. This was full. I refilled this weekend. I normally bake on Sundays, so baking on a Wednesday is weird for me. I started out with it down here, and then I refilled it all the way to the top, and we're already back down here because that's how much baking I have done for Thanksgiving already, because I've already made 2 loaves of pumpkin bread, a chocolate pie, which will get meringue on it either tonight or tomorrow morning, a pumpkin pie, and spice cupcakes that are gonna get frosted. I have buttercream to make for that. Yes, hi Jazz, apple pie indeed. How are you? How's it going? I need my teaspoon. There's my teaspoon for the salty salt. Salt. Saltity salt, salt, salt. Ready? This is gonna be what I use anyways. Ta-da, it's mixed in. And now, I'm just gonna put this all in the mixing bowl. Bloop. And then I need 6 tablespoons of water. I made caramel chocolate brownies with bananas on top. That sounds delicious, Hazard. That sounds delicious. Seamus is like, you want some of these baked goods? You gotta come to New York. You gotta come to New York. Now, if I remember right, I think 3 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup. Where's my tablespoon? And where's my 1/4 cup? I was so, like, hell-bent on finishing what I needed to do when I baked the other pies that I just carried 6 tablespoons of water over, but the reality is my measuring spoons, let me see if this will focus. My measuring spoons actually have the milliliters on them. It does not want to focus for you guys. If I come in closer, will it? No, that just makes it worse. Okay, well, 1 tablespoon is 15 mils, so 3 tablespoons is 45, which makes 6 of them 90 mils of water. I need 90 mils, and I think a 1/4 cup. No, a 1/4 cup is 60. So I would need a 1/4 and an 1/8. Or 3 1/8 cups. And the reason I will go for the 1/8 of a cup versus 6 tablespoons is because why walk 6 times when you can walk 3? 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. Thank you, Opal. Yeah. You got to the shade part of Hollow Knight already? That's amazing. I've not played it, but I know it's a hard game. Seamus is very lucky he gets the baked goods and the cake. Ooh, 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 Nivex. Hi, Ophelia. You Googled for me. I appreciate it, Opal. How are you, Ophelia? Are you feeling a little better tonight? So, cold water. Cold water. And yes, I could walk twice by using the 1/4 cup. I'll walk 3 times. Whoop, water on the floor. Don't care, because it's water. Until I step in it with my sock, and then I'll care. But it's a danger of my own making, right? There we go. Because it was just water, onto the drying mat. Onto the drying mat. Mod brain doesn't shut. I know how hard it is to look something up during a regular stream. That's true, Opal. I feel you on mod brain never shutting off, because if I'm anywhere and somebody's like, can I get a shout out for? I instinctively go to do the shout out and then realize that I don't have the privileges. Shay, hello, welcome in. You've come to watch the baking goodness. You are in the right place. You are in the right place. My pharmacist gets a gold star for making your cough syrup bubblegum flavor without being asked to. I am happy for you, Ophelia. I do not share your love for bubblegum flavor. All that matters, though, is that you like the flavor since you're taking the medicine. You do that all the time, Opal? Yeah. It, like, once a mod, always a mod. It becomes friggin' habit. It becomes habit. I am just mixing the water in with the flour so that when I do start this with the butter, it's like the flour's a little shaggy, a little less fly in your facey. Because this motor on this KitchenAid doesn't know the difference between stir and two. So it's a little aggressive right out the gate. And you'd be surprised at how different it is when you mix that water in thoroughly, despite it not being that much. Like, a little bit of liquid goes a long way with flour. A little bit of pumpkin pie that splattered. Seamus, thank you for 46 months. I appreciate you. That means I have had affiliate status for 46 months because Seamus is my very first subscriber. All right, so we need 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of butter, right? Yes. I need a kniffy to chop said butter. 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. Okay, there's my butter. Now I'm gonna need this butter again for the buttercream, but it's getting a little soft, so I'm gonna go stick it back in the fridge for a bit. because I don't want it to be too soft. I don't want it to be too soft. So when we get ready to put to like make swap overs, we can pull it back out. We can pull it back out. So plop that in. And I actually, just to kind of like help the butter spread out faster, give it more surface area, I do chop it into chunks despite it being soft. And I'll get a couple extra chunks in there for the start, and then I will add it as it's mixing.
It's a wonk tootie, she's a potato.
Judy, hi! I deliberately accepted your affiliate in the middle of the night to make sure your spouse could be the first subscriber of Opal. I love that. I love that. Oh, Smeagol, you're in a schmood, huh? It's his turn to make weird cat noises and charge across the apartment. Normally that's Hera. But right now, it's Smeagol. All the butter in the pie crust. It is pie, Tootie. These are the pies, Tootie, by the way, that you won't make me and plate up. I just want pie. I always tell Tootie when she's playing plate up that she needs to accept the dessert pies, and she always tells me no. Something about it being bad for speed running. Get in there. Oh, there we go. I am getting my pie finally. So instead of Heracles, you have Heraclaus. We do have Heraclaus. It's true. It's true. Although even though she has an extra thumb on every single one of her paws, so she's six-toed on all four paws, with a claw in all six toes, she has better claw control than Smeagol could ever hope to have. You're just gonna wad up in there, aren't you? You're gonna make me switch attachments. It doesn't want to come out of this. Sometimes I can do this with the whisk attachment, and sometimes, like today, I'm gonna have to shove it out of the whisk and get my stirring attachment, my folding attachment, the ceramic paddle. Paddle is the word I'm looking for. Or maybe I could just knead the... Nah. Why knead it by hand when you can do it electronically? You know? Can I knead it by hand? Yes. Do I want to? Not particularly. Not particularly. Seamus is the big winner here. Seamus and my extended family and the friends that are going to be showing up to Thanksgiving. I guess we're having a little bit of a smaller gathering this year than usual. My aunt said the total count is only 16, which some of you are probably going, only 16? But last year we were supposed to have 25, of which 17 showed up because we had a blizzard on Christmas, on Thanksgiving Day, and that made things a little awkward. But yeah, we normally have a lot of people at Thanksgiving, so we're missing a few this year. I was expecting no less than, hang on, I gotta count. Myself and Seamus, my sister and her husband, my brother and his wife, my dad, the person on shift with my brother at the ambulance corps building, because that's where we're hosting, my aunt and uncle, so that's 11, my cousin, his fiance, so we're up to 13, and then we usually have little Donna and her husband Bill, and Kathy and her husband Bruce, which brings us up to 17. So we're already like one over. And then we have Pete's parents, Seamus's parents as well, which would put us at 19. So like I was expecting more like 20 people. So to only have 16, I'm like, who isn't coming? Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. You ate all the pie, Nivex? Yeah, 16 is small. 16 is small for us, Duty. Because it got washed. Guess who stepped in the water she dropped on the floor? Haha, it's me. I knew it would happen. It's okay. My fuzzy socks are okay. Yeah, we have large gatherings. We are the place that people go when they don't have anywhere else to go, essentially. So, I just expect a lot of people. We had 20 people once when you were a teenager. That was insane? I believe it. If you're not used to it, it would feel insane. There we go. Now the butter's all mixed in. That's better. That's better. Yeah, I grew up with two families that both loved to celebrate the holidays and that were really comfortable with each other. So my mom's side and my dad's side get along so well. Okay, most of the butter's mixed in. We're gonna have to do a little hand kneading. So it used to be when my grandmother on my mother's side was still alive, because she died when I was 8 or 9 from lung cancer. When she was still alive, but I didn't really know my grandfather on that side because he passed from a heart attack when I was 2. Thanksgiving was my mom's side of the family would all typically come to my dad's side of the family, and we would get together and have like a big feast. And I think at one point they may have alternated. I seem to have this as a memory. So sometimes it would be at my dad's side of the family, and sometimes it would be at my mom's. But both families just smashed together. It was wonderful. The ones that wanted to anyways, because like, obviously some people were celebrating with their own secular families within that, but it was large. It was large because people were still alive back then. I've lost a lot of family members over the years. So I grew up with like large gatherings always. Nobody wants bitter butter batter. Yeah, absolutely. You do 6 to 10, right? Thing on Discord to pass along later. Absolutely, Jazz. Absolutely. I put the cornbread in a bread pan, so it has to go back in for a few minutes, but it smells good. Ooh, you'll have to let me know how it tastes, Opal. You have to buy some better butter, right? Right? Yeah, so, God, when I was a kid, how many people would have come? Because it would have been all 3 of my grandparents, plus my dad's siblings and spouses, so that would have been 3, plus my family, which is 8, or no, it would have been 5, so 8, and then 11, we'd be up to 11. And then you had my great uncle and aunt and their 2 kids, so there's another 4 for 15. And then my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, so that would have been 17. I gotta really reach for this. Trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Oh, and my one cousin's husband, so that would have been 19. Yeah, at least 19 people in general at a gathering. And then if the Palmers came, that added another 3 or 4. Like, we were busy people. We had big get-togethers. I think all of the butter is smushed in at this point. Is this how you properly knead dough? Absolutely not. Is this how I finish kneading pie dough? Yes. Yes, it is. Sometimes your uncle would visit, sometimes not. Mima always had the best food and tons of it, right, Ophelia? Sagnayomi, I am cooking and cleaning and more cooking and more cooking and also an adventure of cooking. Hi, crazy guy. It's 30 to 40 people for you. Yeah, big gatherings. That's a lot. That's a lot. But that's why I'm making 3 pies plus pumpkin bread. I've already made the pumpkin bread and 2 of the pies plus spice cupcakes. So originally I was just going to do 3 pies and the pumpkin bread. But my sister, she doesn't like pie. Specifically, she doesn't like pie crust, and she feels bad just eating the filling, which is fair. But I've never known what she would like. And then this year she was like, I can bring spice cupcakes since I don't like pie. And I was like, if you would like me to make you spice cupcakes, because I let her try the spice cake that I made a month ago, I think about now. I was like, I will happily make those for you. I was like, I will always accommodate requests. I just didn't know what you wanted in lieu of pie, right? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, and what kind of frosting do you want on those? Do you want the boiled frosting? Do you want cream cheese frosting? She's like, I want buttercream. So the cupcakes I made this morning, because they have to cool before you can frost them. And ideally, while the pie is baking, we will work on the buttercream and frosting the cupcakes. I am not going to be around. You're not going to be around for. I made it clear to my dad that I like seeing family members. They are entitled and do not clean up after themselves nor allow me to sit down and eat your Thanksgiving meal. And you cook for them. So this year you're going to be going to the movie theaters and chilling with your sister. You know what? That's fair. Honestly, I wouldn't do any of the cooking in that case, crazy guy. This might be a very selfish take, but if I can't eat it for a holiday and it's not for charity, I ain't doing that level of baking. Like, you have to give me a damn good reason to not eat the meal that I baked. We used to always joke like that with my grandmother too, on my dad's side, because, oh my God, inevitably, this woman was go, 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 go. I think it was her parents were off the boat Italian, right? They were the ones who immigrated to the United States, so she was very much raised in an Italian household. And her mentality was guests first. It doesn't matter if they're family members, it doesn't matter if they're friends, guests first. And so if your plate was empty, she was just like jumping up to be like, do you want more? Can I get you anything else? Do you need anything? Do you need more water? Do you need more wine? Like everything. She was on top of it, and we were constantly like, sit down and eat your food. We had to tell her because she was just up and ready to go. And we were like, sit. So now whenever somebody's running around and won't stay put to eat their food because they're trying to tend to other people who are capable of, refilling their own plate, we're like, sit down, Mary, because that was my grandmother's name, was Mary. It's become a running joke. I'm just clearing space to be able to roll out pie dough, because that's the next step. We got to roll it out to get it into the bottom of the pan, and then we're going to roll it out again. We're going to get 2 pieces out of this so that we can make the lattice work top. I will be eating leftovers. It'll be the Brussels sprouts, potatoes, and cranberry sauce that I only eat, but you're sick and tired of busting your ass only for to flake out. The second they have to do dishes, I wasn't even allowed to sit down and eat because people kept asking me, they can have a... Yeah, see, I would have said, get it yourself. Get it yourself. Sorry, get it yourself. All right, so wax paper. Wax paper because I don't feel like flouring my worktop. This is my little trick. I use 2 pieces of wax paper to roll between. I don't then have to clean the pastry cloth. I don't have to clean the rolling pin. I don't have to use extra flour. So if ever you don't want to do those things, wax paper. 2 pieces of wax paper. Now, sometimes I am careful enough to weigh this and get exactly half. No, we're gonna just guesstimate. Yeah, it feels about the same. Maybe a little bit extra over on this side. Here's the thing, I'm gonna roll this out nice and thin. So I'm going to end up with extra regardless. And I like to loosely get it in a ball to start to make this easier. Find roughly the center, little pat, pat, pat. Fold this over on itself. And you know what? You guys can see this area better than you can see this area. So if I'm smart, which sometimes I am, like right now, I will actually move my food scale and whatnot over to the other side so that I can keep what I'm doing more in view for you guys. The curse of having a small environment and limited resources to stream in it. I am looking into, and I'm thinking I might take the first week of December off to make this happen. I'm looking into some OBS plugins to maybe allow me to have multiple cameras that are plugged into my laptop and whatnot, so that I could have, because I did this at one point sort of when I first tried streaming my Christmas cookies. I had a webcam that froze every time I used the KitchenAid, and I would move it from a tripod that was like up here to, we used to have like a wine rack here, but that I could hook it on to here to be directly down on what I was doing. And that was kind of nice. So I'm thinking about looking into these OBS plugins because I do Google Remote Desktop to access my OBS on my desktop from my laptop, because I can't bring my desktop out here, and I need access to my desktop so that I don't have to constantly recreate my scenes in 2 places, and I don't have to try and have Firebot set up in 2 places, right? That would be a giant pain in the ass. So I'm thinking about trying out Teleport, because then I could hook webcams and stuff into my laptop, and my laptop, in theory, if this plugin works the way it's supposed to, would teleport the signal or the feed or whatever over to my desktop, and my desktop could plug it in via my Wi-Fi, and then I could have multiple angles and views, and hopefully the KitchenAid would not make the feed shit out because of the electromagnetics of the motor, which Seamus did get me electromagnetic field blocking things. I forget what they're called. He tells me every time, and I'm like, those are cool, and then I immediately forget what they're called. But they are hooked up to the KitchenAid right now to try and help, because it interferes with the lapel mic. So hopefully I haven't had any interference from that. Also, this is This is the marble rolling pin that Seamus got me, and it is so nice because of the weight. I don't really have to push down on it. It just does it for me. So that's a nice thin crust. Ferrite noise filters, there it is. Thank you, Seamus. Say his name and he shall appear. So the beauty of this, being as big as it is I've got plenty of extra. I could pull it out a little bit on these sides, just a little. I know though, if I can come basically edge to edge on the wax paper, I've got enough space for the pie plate. Now, I am aware that there are those cute like little round things that you can roll into, right? I don't own one. This works fine. There we go. You can kind of see. I'll tilt it down so you can see better. Plenty of space. Plenty of space. So that's what we're working with. It might cut my head, the top of my head off a little bit or make me seem taller than I am, but I'm gonna keep you tilted down a little bit. So I'm gonna peel the top part off. I'm gonna slide my whole arm under this and do a really quick flip. Because I really, like, the less this wax paper crinkles, the easier it is to coax it off of the pastry dough, the pie dough. And technically speaking, my butter was a wee bit warm for this application, so colder butter is usually better for pastry. But I have an easier time working with pastry if the butter's a little warmer. So I do end up with, you can see where it's like stuck to the wax paper a little bit. That's why. But it's still like, I can work with it. I'm just gonna lift it a little to help coax it down into the pie plate itself. Just to make sure it's not pulled away from the edges. And that's where I want to leave it because, well, not quite. I do want to cut off some of the excess. I'm going to leave a little bit extra around the ring, but for the most part, I want the extra to come off. I'm going to move this out of my way so I can just chuck it back into the bowl. And this is important because we're going to need a little bit of extra to help fold under with our lattice work, but we want as much dough as possible to work with for the lattice work, right? Pick it up, spin it around because it is touching my nice granite top island. So it's like the dough is gonna stick to the granite and I don't want to drag it around the pie plate, ideally. But yeah, there's plenty of extra. So, and I have the extra from the other 2 pies that I've already made, so there will probably be a good chunk to make like little turnovers. I am not worried about this being a little shaggy. I just needed to get it trimmed so that I have stuff that can fold under. I can work with it, but it's not excessive. And I'm gonna set that off to the side for the moment. So the next step, you would think is, oh, I also have to prick the bottom, but we can do that in a moment. The next step is actually not doing the lattice work, it's prepping the damn apples. You know what? I'm gonna set them on top of that. This can just sit in here. No, or do I want to put it in the fridge for a little bit? Oh, decisions. Nah, I can sit in there. It's not hurting anything. My Mimir grandma used to use pie dough scraps to make cinnamon sugar roll things. Absolutely, Kags. Absolutely. My mom would use it. She'd basically make Pop-Tarts without the icing. She would just roll out a slab and smear it with whatever jelly we had in the fridge and then put a slab on top and seal it around the edges and bake it and then cut it into chunks and we would eat it. Tom almost banned Riku. Oh no, what happened, Chaz? What happened? You must explain. Okay, so the apple pie recipe. Sorry, I need a sip of water. He was giving you shit in Epic's chat. Oh my gosh. And they were like, Riku, that's me. Oh, because they don't know the relationship. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, we bully each other. Oh my god. That's so funny. That is so funny. Oops. Whoopsie poopsie. Yeah, I have my lurk in Epic's chat right now. I saw Tom raid in as I was working on finishing up OBS settings. Tom was in there and almost banned his ass. That is hilarious. Tom needs to go to bed. It's freaking late. She's being mean to you, Riku. Do you deserve it? There's the question. Do you deserve it? Did you do something to earn that? So this apple pie recipe came from a website. Not this time. Okay. So she's making up for other times. He told me to get on his level and called you Apocalypse. Oh, gasp. Gasp. I forget. It doesn't matter. I will provide the website later. Website actually I think is in Discord. But I'm gonna make notes on this if I need to though. There's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of people who haven't done their Apoc challenges yet. I believe in you, Jazz. So for the apple pie, we are gonna need 2 pie crusts, one for the bottom, one for the lid, and they have their own pie crust recipe that I just completely didn't care about. It calls for 7 large apples, peeled, cored, and sliced into 1/2-inch slices. Now, they prefer to use Granny Smith. I have Red Delicious and one other. I got 2 different kinds, maybe Honey Crisp. You can use a menagerie of apples. Ideally, though, you want to stay on the tartar end of the apple spectrum so that it pairs well with the sugar. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, loosely packed, so we're not going to jam it down. 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/8 teaspoon ground nutmeg, a tablespoon of lemon juice plus the zest of 1/2 lemon. I am probably going to skip the zest of the 1/2 lemon because A, I don't have lemons. B, even if I did, I don't feel like zesting one. And C, I understand the lemon juice is in there to help with the coloration of the apples to keep them from kind of browning. But I don't see the point of the lemon zest, and I don't need this to be more tart personally, so I'm probably gonna skip that. 1 large egg lightly beaten in a small bowl for egg wash so that doesn't go into our pie filling. And then if you decide to, standing sugar to put over the top of the egg wash, that's optional. You'll do it on stream, you guys, as you should, Jazz. That is the best way because everybody enjoys that. Mine actually still exist because I streamed them and then I cut them out of the VOD and I put just those up on my YouTube. So if you go to my main YouTube channel and you scroll through, I think it's game time, you can find both my bronze APOC challenge and my gold because I skipped silver. I just went from bronze to gold. I didn't bother with silver. All right, so the pie crust is already done. We need to start cutting up apples. I need to grab my apples. This is the part I don't like doing. I don't know what it is. I just don't like peeling and cutting up apples. It's not hard. There's nothing inherently difficult about it. Oh, I got Red Delicious and Granny Smith. That's what I got. A combo wombo. And I won't need all of them, so we're gonna use all 4 of the Granny Smith and then probably at least 3 of the Red Delicious. Here's the other thing, apples come in a variety of sizes, so who knows? Are they? Yeah, they're Granny Smith. I saw Honey Bear and I was like, wait a minute. Honey? What do you mean honey? It's the farm or the branding or whatever. Who knows how big the apples were that this person used to make their pie? That's why sometimes weights are nicer when it comes to fresh ingredients that are not pre-measured. Bean, thank you for the lurk. Or for the lurk, it's in your name. Hello, how are you? You checked in. Wow. Wow, brain. Wow. Good job. Good job. Pat on the back for myself. Good freaking job. Get out a cutting board. I was also very nice to the lady at the supermarket when we bought the apples, and I put the 2 different kinds in different bags because at the end of the day, if I don't, she has to then try to like put half of the bag on at one point to get the price for the one kind of apple and then put half of the bag on the other for the other kind of apple because they're not the same price. Yeah. I was like, no, there's 2 different kinds of apples in 2 different bags. And she just looked at me like I was a saint. Because you know with everybody out there buying all of their ingredients for prep, they're just chucking everything in one bag. And she was probably frantic. Guess you'll just grab a lurk while you're at it. Absolutely. I appreciate it, Bean. I appreciate it. All right, so peeling. There is my handy dandy peeler that I love. Take the guard off of it here because I don't smack my fingers using this one. It's glorious. So first things first, we got to peel these bad boys. And then we're going to slice them, and we'll take off any areas that just don't look very appetizing when we start slicing them up. Because these looked good, they felt good, they've got some bruises. Sometimes you just can't see the bruising that well. I wish we composted. We don't have the area to compost, so this will just be going in the garbage. Someday, when we don't live where we currently live, we will have a compost bin, and I will be so happy. We will actually have a garden that I enjoy, and I will be so happy. We used to have raised beds. I had Seamus rip them out this year because our neighbors are jackasses, okay? First and foremost, if I'm outside with headphones in, I don't want to talk to you. Do not talk to me louder to get me to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care that you're curious about what I'm doing or what I'm growing. Like, I just want to be left alone in my garden, okay? If I have headphones in, I don't want to talk to you. If I have no headphones in and you ask me questions, I will talk to you. Simple. Simple. Very simple. In the same vein, I do not want to grow vegetables for somebody to steal them. Especially because we live in a neighborhood where said vegetables are probably not being eaten by somebody who needs them more than we do. They are more likely being thrown at buildings or vehicles or used for other such nefarious means. So I can't even be like, well, somebody must have just been really hungry and they stole my cauliflower. No. And they don't, like, too, when they stole stuff from our garden, they didn't just take like a couple of tomatoes. No. Every cauliflower we had grown, gone. Every eggplant I had grown, gone. Beans, decimated. Like, they just came and took freaking everything while we were away from the house. So I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. These neighbors suck. So we ripped the beds out. We hadn't used them in a couple years because I was just so over it. So someday, when we have private property, and when I say private, I don't mean like we own it. I mean not in urban culture. I will have a garden again, and it will be glorious, and I will grow things. People suck. Leave you and your marijuana patch alone. You mean carrot patch? Absolutely, Jazz. Absolutely, exactly. Yep. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of our neighbors. I don't trust them. And it's a revolving door of people. I will also say that. Our particular area of the neighborhood is a revolving door of people. Why, I don't know. But it probably has something to do with them being unsavory individuals, because if you're not going to spend a lot of time in an area, you don't tend to really care about it, right? So you just do whatever and then move on. It's a shame. But it is what it is. Man, I feel like I picked out the worst of the worst with the Granny Smiths. They are so bruised. Oh well. I'm gonna make it work. I'ma make it work. Do 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 do. I can't even ask Seamus to help me with this part that I don't like, because he's actually allergic to specifically raw apple because of the pollen on the skin of the apple. He has gone apple picking with me because he knew I really wanted to, and he'll do freaking anything for me, with the agreement that he might carry the bag or help me carry the bag, but he wasn't going to be picking any of the apples. I was going to have to make sure that the apples stayed in the bag, not overflowed the bag, because I'm that person. If they're not rolling out, it's free game. They're priced that way, so I would go for it, and obviously he wasn't going to process the apples. But yeah, he is allergic to raw apples, so I can't ask him for help with this part. The only thing you've successfully grown here are spaghetti squash and radishes, and you don't like radishes. Yeah, I don't like radishes either. We've grown them. We've also successfully grown those because Seamus likes radishes, but I don't care for them. I would like to like them because it's another vegetable variety that I can put in my diet, but I don't like the peppery taste. It's too spiky. It's too spiky. And spiky's not my flavor profile. I don't mind pointy, but spiky's bad. There is a difference. There is a difference for me. Because spiky is like it's impaling. It's impaling my tongue and my taste buds, and I don't like it. But pointy pokes at them, but, you know, safely. I think what I'm going to do is I'll chop the apples, like I'll core and chop them, and then I'll see how deep some of these bruises go, rather than trying to cut them out individually. Because, like, wow, that's one hell of a bruised apple. They don't taste like much when cooked with a roast, you can tell you that. Ah. I have to scroll up to see what Kag said. I have to scroll up because my Siri bot message for the ads is in my way. It's in my way. because I have to magnify the text so that I can read it from a little bit of a distance because I'm 36 and my eyes are getting tired. I wonder how they taste slow roasted. Got it. Yeah. I feel like some things do mellow when you roast them, and then some things when you roast them, like they lose their character. I need yon bowl. Yon bowl. Because obviously I'm running out of space here to work with, so we're going to do 4 and 4. And the only thing I have for coring apples is this, and it's not my ideal way to do it because I did want to, oh God. I did want to, hang on. Ugh. I did it. I couldn't push and think at the same time. I did want to make easier slices by just cutting them in half and whatnot, but I don't have any other way to core the apple, so this is my option. It's fine. It's fine. Wow, that coring gave me a run for my goddamn money, though. Holy shit! Slow rice, like how you do tomatoes, but not serious. You don't think they have enough Yeah, I don't know that radishes have enough moisture for that either. They are pretty, like... Paring knife? They're pretty dry. Because you gotta remember, radishes are a root vegetable. Yeah, so this bruising doesn't go all the way through. So I can just take the outside layer off. Essentially, and we're getting rid of the bruising. And then I'm just gonna give these a little bit of an extra slice, and into the bowl they go. Seamus will tell you I'm very picky about my food. About the textures and everything, because if the texture's wrong, I won't eat it. So I'm going to be extra picky about what these apples look like. Because even though I shouldn't be able to taste the bruising, take no chances. Take no chances. That's the safe route. Because I'm going to have every bit of pie. I will be eating less dinner so that I can save room for pie. Honestly, pie is the best part of Thanksgiving. You cannot change my mind. And tomorrow morning, before we head out, I'm making fresh whipped cream. Because your girl doesn't like canned whipped cream. It's one of those things where I was okay with canned whipped cream until my mom made fresh whipped cream, and then I was like, why the fuck is anybody buying canned whipped cream? Superior. You're the same way, Kags? Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. Like, if the texture's off, I'm not eating it. And you pair that with IBS struggles, and then just things that I don't like or that gross me out, and I ended up being a very picky eater. I will freely admit I am a picky eater. I try my best not to be, because I don't want to be that guest, right, that just won't eat any of the food. But in that regard, I also try to be very upfront with any food allergies and stuff and double check the menu. And if there's going to be nothing there for me to eat, I will do one of two things. I will either politely decline the invitation, or I will insist on bringing a food item that I can eat. Because I personally, it's twofold. I personally don't believe in forcing a hostess to make, or a host, to make a meal extra just for me. But secondly, I have food trust issues because I've had too many people in my life that do what I call food shaming, where they just don't believe in whatever it is you're telling them that you can't have, and they try to feed it to you secretly. I had this from so many people in my life that I simply do not trust people when they tell me that they omitted something, unless they've given me reason to trust them. Like when I went out to Minneapolis and Eric said that he had prepared one of the hot dishes with, like, it had called for mushrooms, and he very specifically didn't add them into this one dish because it was the one that didn't call for any garlic. And I am allergic to mushrooms and I cannot have garlic. I trusted him because Eric is somebody who was making absolutely certain, him and Mari, that all food allergies were accommodated for this big dinner we were going to have, right? But I was in, like, as late as massage school, where you would think people would be a little bit more not dickish about this, right? Where people just, they were like not believing the garlic thing, and they had dip and chips, and I specifically asked because they were like, oh, it's so good, you should try some. And I was like, is there garlic in it? And they were like, no. And I had a bite and I immediately tasted the garlic, and I was like, what do you mean there's no garlic in it? And I spit it back out, and they were like, you don't have to be rude. And I was like, I can't have garlic, and you know this. That's why I asked. Why did you lie to me? And they're like, it can't be that bad. That's food shaming. And that's not okay. It is not okay. Like, don't do that to people. So I don't trust. I don't trust. Hi, Hemlock. How are you? Welcome in. I'm so glad that heavy whipping cream is a staple in my home. Whenever I get a sweet tooth, I just whip up some whipped cream. There you go, Bean. There you go. Absolutely. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a food rant there, but I think it's important to talk about sometimes because this does happen to people with food allergies all the damn time. My aunt never believed that my dad was allergic to onions. She would slip it into everything, and then he would be sick as a dog for days. It was terrible. But she's just like, people aren't allergic to onions. That's silly. And my dad was like, yeah, tell that to my guts. My mom couldn't talk sense into her, nothing. So we just stopped eating whatever Aunt Linda would bring us. Couldn't trust her anymore. And that is a trust that once you lose it, you're not getting it back. Like, once somebody has decided they cannot trust you to respect their health, you won't get that trust back. It's just not coming back. Nope, no way. So it's not worth losing, in my opinion. Oh, we get to do this again. I'm gonna put the knife there so that I don't accidentally, like, slide down onto it. Because that would be really bad. As you can see, it takes me forever to slice apples, and this bowl isn't big enough. I can tell you that right now, but I'm going to continue to put some apple into it because it's available. Oh, that one went easier. Awesome. Huzzah. All the beautiful apple pieces. My God, I remember the very first time I ever actually ate an unsliced apple. It was first grade. I was 6 years old. We went to an apple orchard for a field trip in fall where we were learning about them growing apples and stuff. Like, I was young. I don't remember the details. But I remember we got to pick apples off the tree to eat. And I was good and hungry, so I just started munching. I didn't pay attention to the fact that they were talking about, you know, eating around the core or whatever. And the core is perfectly edible. I ate the whole apple to the stem. There was no core left. I spit the seeds on the ground. And somebody finally saw me doing this and was like, wait, you know you don't have to eat the apple core, right? And I just looked at them and was like, oh. So I ate it. I ate it core and all because, heaven forbid, I shouldn't. Good old young self. Now I wouldn't do that because texture. But I didn't know any better. I was just like, well, I have to eat the whole apple or they'll be upset with me. So I did. Turns out I, in fact, did not have to eat literally the whole apple. Oopsie poopsie. Oopsie poopsie. Cut that yucky spot out. There are also like parts on the inside that are stiff, so I get rid of those. Thin slices. Thin slices. Oh my god, it is pouring outside. Just listening to the rain while I do this. You guys have some nice musica, some lo-fi to listen to, but woohoo, almost dropped that on the floor. I've got the rain because I can't really hear sound. The remote desktop through Google used to transmit sound from my desktop to my laptop, and then one day it just stopped. So I can only hear what I can hear from the other room, and it's not a whole hell of a lot. Which is why I have the warning about the alerts at the top, that I can't always hear them. Because if it doesn't come through loud enough, or if I'm using the mixer or whatever, like, it ain't happening. I don't hear jack diddly fuck all. It's just the nature of the beast. Get that little bit of core out of there. Have that music and your air fryer going. Ooh, what you making in the air fryer, Kags? Is it stuff for dinner tonight, or is it stuff that's for tomorrow? No, you're in Canada, so it's got to be dinner tonight for you. You had your Thanksgiving last month, right? Canadian Thanksgiving was last month, if I remember right. You would think I'd have this better memorized, considering I moderate for Epic Tight Pants, who is a Canadian emigrating to the United States, but alas. And I moderate for Tootie, who is Canadian. And I am friends with lots of other Canadians, like Kags. No, I don't have it memorized. My brain doesn't have room for more dates. I don't even remember when Seamus and I started dating, and I barely remember when he proposed to me. Okay? Like, I'm supposed to be the one to remember the dates. Seamus is the one who comes to me and tells me happy anniversary, and I'm like, oh, it's today? I am determined to at least remember my wedding anniversary whenever that happens. But no dice on the rest of it. No dice on the rest of it. I'm bad. I'm very bad about that. Ugh. I can grab it all. I can, really. Ugh, into the garbage. Ooh, batter fish. Nice. Pip, hello. Welcome in. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like both me and my cooking. Mid-October, the 12th or the 13th. At least I remembered that much. Knife where I can't stab myself. All right, I should have enough room to do both of these now. Ugh. I should have picked a bigger cutting board too. Whereas I will have to get a bigger bowl, I do not have to get a bigger cutting board, so I'm not going to dirty another cutting board. Yeah. Yeah. Out. Garbage. Take off some of the excess juices. Ugh. I'm glad my hand is healed as much as it has. I can't hold it like this. I do have to get like up on top of it versus gripping it. But a month ago, I wouldn't have even been able to push down from on top of it. That would have been, Seamus, you have to come out here and use the apple core for me a month ago. So OT doing wonderfully for healing the hand. It's really funny too, because like I have so much less pain in it now that I'm like, oh, it's basically healed. Maybe I should talk to her about not actually going twice a week. And then I'll be there and she'll ask me to do something and I'll be like, she found where it still hurts. She found the pain. Never mind. But we are into more of the strengthening side of it, so that's a positive. That is a big positive. Into the bowl. Ooh. Yeah, I also debated. So last year, if anybody remembers, was around for, because I know my community has done a lot of growing this year, and I'm eternally grateful for it. So there are plenty of you who weren't around for last year, but those who were, who remember, I did all of my Thanksgiving baking on stream last year. So the pumpkin bread was done on stream, the pumpkin pie was done on stream, and the chocolate meringue pies were done on stream. I did 4 pies and I did the 2 loaves of pumpkin bread. And like it was good. It was wonderful. It was a long day. This year, for my own sanity, I was like, I don't actually have to stream every time I bake. I was like, I can self, you can bake in the evening after you do stuff during the week so that you don't have as much to do on Wednesday. So that's exactly what I did, and I'm really glad I went that route. So I don't have as large of a pile of things to bake today that I have to have done for tomorrow. So I'm not going to be up until like midnight baking. And I also didn't have to spend literally my whole day baking. I had time to get other stuff done, which is important. It also is much better for my feet, which last year, some of you may remember from the Christmas cookies, I was talking about how bad my feet and my legs felt, and the fact that standing that long was so hard for my poor body, and I needed to figure out, like, could we take breaks or what have you. The answer actually came from a Content Delta stream when I was talking about, like, because Content Delta, Mathman Barry, does his first half of his streams for answering questions from streamers and helping streamers grow and do better. His currently retired channel, used to be his main channel, Mathman EU, is a partnered Twitch channel, so he knows what he's talking about. He's done it, and he's going to get partnered on Content Delta. I guarantee you that. He is gaining traction. So his techniques do work, and we were chatting just generally, and I had mentioned, you know, like the cooking and the baking streams and the Christmas cookies, and the fact that started off at random because I just wanted to share it, and it's grown. And him and his chat came up with the idea that I should do the 12 days of Christmas cookies as a play on the song, right? And I was like, that's brilliant, but I need 2 more types of cookies. Well, my friends, I have 2 more types of cookies, and this is going to be what saves my feet. I don't have to do marathon baking. I don't have to do it in 10 days. I just have to time it so that the ones that are more prone to going stale get done last. And the ones that aren't, or that need more time, like the Awans, go first. It's very simple. I have 2 cookies that chill. The gingerbread, or not the gingerbread, the ginger snaps, and the chocolate crinkles. So it makes sense to do both of their doughs together one night, put them both in the fridge to chill, and then the next day I do both of those cookies. It's still 12 days, even if I had to combine them because of the chilling factor, right? So it works out really well, and it will save my feet and my legs and my back and my sanity. I can't wait. And that's part of why I'm thinking about taking the first week of December off. Aside from looking into OBS apps for camera feed extras, it's also for the fact that I am going to be baking for pretty much 12 days straight. I am going to be streaming all of the baking for 12 days straight. That's a lot of streaming. That is almost 2 full weeks of just let's stream. So I am thinking I don't necessarily need to stream right before I get started with that. I can take that time to tidy the kitchen, get things together, go get my ingredients, make promo materials, so on and so forth and what have you. Although the promo materials are actually going to be made probably sooner than that. Because I want to put an event up in Discord for each of the cookie days so that it's more obvious that this is happening. And I would say my Christmas baking is a bigger event every year on my channel. Oh, Christine, hi! Thank you for the raid! Welcome on in, Raiders. My name is Saknika, but you may also hear me called Sam. I am a member of Everbright Global Gaming and Set the Tone stream teams and a variety streamer here on Twitch that does everything from gaming to art to nail art to baking. Today we're making an apple pie. Christine, how was your stream? What were you up to? Cookie days, that's right. Yeah, I can't hear things, so Seamus just told me that you raided in. Welcome in, everybody. That's why Seamus is such a good addition. Because he's right here in the house, obviously, as my fiance, and he can hear things for me when I can't. You guys, if you don't know Christine, she is absolutely lovely. She does a lot of plate up. She does co-working streams. She's just got a very cozy vibe, and I highly recommend that you check her out and give her a follow. You will not be disappointed. And if you're not following her, you're definitely missing out. Ooh, long French almonds. You were doing your nails. Let's go. I love that for you. I love that for you. Did you do just the typical white polish for the French tips, or did you do anything decorative and special? I also love that more and more people are getting into the passion project type sharing stuff on Twitch versus just games. I know it's always been here, but I feel like it's becoming more prominent, right? And I really love that. You deserve it. You deserve the praise, Christine. You cannot hide from me. You cannot hide from me. Nothing fancy, just the plain French. You know what? Nothing wrong with that. Plain French is not easy to do either. It's not easy to do. It looks so simple, but getting that line straight and making them all even is a pain in the ass. So kudos to you. kudos to you. And thank you again super muchly for the raid. If you need a raid and run, Christini, if you need to go get post-stream self-care, don't hesitate. I'd love it if you could stick around, hang around, at least lurk, but I totally also understand that life happens and you were just streaming for a while. So if you got a raid and run, please, by all means, don't feel obligated. More apples. So many apples. All of the apples. I'm gonna need a bigger bowl. I will grab that in a minute. Let me at least get the stickers off of these. No sticker. These are indeed Red Delicious. I was right. I remembered. They look amazing. Excellent. Yeah, for sure. I have to go pick up some food, but you'll be lurking. I appreciate the lurk and I appreciate the raid. Go get your food. Go get the om-noms. Whoop. Block. There we go. Get all of that off. This goes in ye old garbage. Use gel glue to stick pre-made nails on. You know what? Fair. Fair. Don't blame you. Okay. Bigger bowl. I need a bigger bowl. I need a bigger bowl. Thought it was big enough. I was wrong. I was wrong. So we'll use this instead. And of course they are browning because oxygen. What was I saying though about December? Oh, right. My Christmas cookie baking is by and far the biggest thing I do on my channel. It's bigger than my streamiversary. It's bigger than my birthday. It's just like the thing. So I really want to do a good job at promoting it. And making sure it's visible. So I'm thinking about part of that first week of December using for making sure I get everything done that I want done prior to I start the baking. So there's that. There is that. And it's funny how my Christmas cookies became that kind of an event. I think I've told this before, but I'm going to tell it again. There was a point, because I take pictures of my Christmas cookies every year and I post them on my social media to talk about how many I've made at this point, my running total. And one year, gosh, probably like 6 years ago now. Can't believe it's been that long. I posted on Facebook that I was debating on whether or not I would share the images. I said, you know, I'm going to be baking all of the cookies, obviously, but I don't want to inundate everybody with the same pictures of the same cookies over and over again. So I was just like, basically talking aloud about my potential choice, and I had so many people comment on that post that were like, excuse me, ma'am, but Christmas and the holiday season doesn't start in my household until you start posting pictures of your cookies. And people who were just like, but that's my favorite part, is watching you actually bake all the cookies and post pictures and et cetera, et cetera. And I was just like, oh. So I'm kind of not surprised that bringing them to Twitch has had a similar beloved reaction. I just didn't expect it to quite be bigger than the excitement that comes from streamiversaries and birthdays and stuff. It tickles me. Tickles me in all the right ways. And it sounds like Seamus is struggling in Enshrouded. I hear him yelling at his computer. Ugh. Okay, the Granny Smith apples were far easier to peel. The Red Delicious are almost boxy and giving me a run for my money. my bestie were here, though, she would have had these peeled, cored, and sliced already. She loves apples, okay? My bestie, she adores them. She is an apple fanatic. They are probably by and far, outside of mangoes, her favorite fruit, okay? She is so quick with this. She is so quick. Because she's had a lot of practice. And that's what it is, right? It's practice. I don't peel things very often, so I don't have a lot of practice. Makes a difference. Practice really does make a difference. Ugh. But also, like, the shape of these apples is a pain in the ass. She also is capable of peeling with a knife, whereas I need the little peeler that she bought me to do this, so I'm sure that also has something to do with it. Get in there. But this skin just seems like awfully attached to the fruit, to the flesh of the fruit. But nobody wants apple skin in their apple pie, so it must be peeled. But I honestly may skip... Well, I've only got one more beyond this. I was about to say, may skip peeling the last two, but I've only got one more beyond this, and just core and slice them, and then when I'm taking out the bruising, take off the peel. But that seems kind of silly now that I'm almost done. You know? But I'll leave cleaning up the peel to that process. Yikes. Yikes! I need to dry my apple holding hand off a little bit, though, so I can hold on to it. Lost Viking Metalworks! Oh, it's not you, it's Mrs. Bidwell! Mrs. Biddy, thank you for gifting community subs. I appreciate it. You got Wolfram and you got Lost Viking Metalworks. Lost Viking Metalworks is such a cool guy. Just Marshy, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders. My name is Saknika, but you may also hear me called Sam. I am a member of the Everbreak Global Gaming and Set the Tones Twitch stream teams, and I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch who does everything from gaming to baking to art to nail art. And today I am in my kitchen and I'm working on apple pie. How are you? How was your stream? What were you up to? Let me get you a shouty outy, because I think Seamus is in the middle of something. Yeah, apple pie. Apple pie. Just Marshy. Oh, you were also working in food and drink. What were you making today? What were you making? Hello. Oh, I'm going to butcher names. If I say it wrong, correct me. Alopideo Ciano. Plague Dog. Lawrence BT. Just Marshy. You finished making mini apple pie cakes. Let's go. Tiny apple pie tartlets, and her mom helped us bully her. You know what? Moms are good at that. I must go because you're cooking. But you're doing fantastic. Looks delicious. Thank you again, Mrs. Bidwell. Oh my gosh, it's a hype train. What the heck? What the heck do you guys think you're doing? We don't need trains in here. We don't need trains. It's pronounced Keano, which you go by. It's Irish. Oh, Kino? Kino. It's gotta be Kino. Thank you so much for the follow as well. I have anonymous follows on. So if that's up your alley, you don't want to be called out for following, I will not call you out. Choo choo. Shout out to Mama Marsh, yeah. Thank you for the giant emote, Seamus. That's your favorite one, I know. You like the duck twerk. You like the duck twerk. Thank you for the follow. I'm presently struggling with peeling apples, but this is the last one. This is the last one, and then I can struggle with coring and slicing because I'm somebody who doesn't peel or slice things very frequently. So I have no skill in it. It's a struggle. It is a struggle. Look at all the twerking! Mrs. Biddy, thank you for the bits! Thank you for the bits, I appreciate it! I love all the twerking emotes. We got otter twerks, yes! I have two friends actually, who are otter VTubers that would absolutely adore those emotes. One is Otter Nonsense, Cherie, and the other one is Legatus Flux. They are two friends. They don't even know each other. I really need to introduce them to each other, who both are otter VTubers. Otters have become very popular lately, I feel like, and I'm here for it. I thought it was a cat. You've been betrayed. Oh no! You were struggling chopping up your apples too? Oh, thank gosh. Thank goodness. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. They're utterly adorable. Oh my god, Seamus. Otters and axolotls, yes. And because I have Siribot, you can actually do axolotl. I think I spelled it right. Yes, Siribot will give you facts. Siribot will give you facts, which tickles me. It has axolotl facts, capybara facts, cat facts, dog facts, a whole bunch of other facts for animals that I'm forgetting. It's all in their documentation notes. Raccoons are domesticating themselves in major cities. Are they really? That's amazing. Yeah, Siribot has axolotl facts, yeah. So this one says axolotls are carnivorous and eat small aquatic creatures like worms, insects, crustaceans, and small fish. They hunt by quickly opening their mouths and creating suction to pull in their prey. I did not know that. You love axolotls? Yes, they're so cool. One of your plushies is a river otter. Got him on a visit to the aquarium. I love that Nyvex. Shark facts, there you go. Sharks can live in a wide range of water temperatures, from near freezing Arctic waters to tropical seas over 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Different species have adapted to specific temperature ranges, so 80 degrees Fahrenheit is around 30 degrees Celsius, if you need the conversion. Axolotls can also regenerate limbs, so when they don't have a lot of food, they just eat a leg. Oh my god, auto-cannibalism. Auto-cannibalism. Your favorite animals are sharks? I love that. And of course, Just Marshy, Raiders, anybody who came in, I absolutely, you are more than welcome to stay here, chat, hang out, lurk, whatever you want to do, but you did just get finished streaming. You guys who were watching may have been there for a while. If you need to raid and run, if you need to go get dinner, if you have kitchen cleanup to do, if you just plain need to like take a hot shower or something, please don't hesitate to go do that. You are under no obligation to stay here, but I would love to have you and hang out. The Alopidae in my name is the name of a family of certain sharks. Oh, cool. That's super cool. Oh god. Oh god. Can I not get this to go down this time? Come on. I do have it on the right side. Oh, Jesus. It wanted to fight me, but I survived. I survived is not the right word. I succeeded. I succeeded. English is my first language, only language, and worst language. Yep. Yep, sure is. Garbage. You know, maybe I'll try to get them all punctured this time and then just do it one step at a time. Yeah, maybe I'll try for that. God, these apples look terrible. Persevere, that's a good word. That's the word. Lemon sharks, thresher sharks. I do need to clean up the kitchen, but you'll be lurking on mobile. I appreciate it. I appreciate it big time. You guys definitely check out Just Marshy. I will be taking a peek after stream. That's why VODs are wonderful. thank you so much again for the raid, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And for all I know, we're homies in the Food and Drink Creator Club, because I am part of that. I am part of that. Even though I was very slow to introduce myself there and get chatting because, you know, brains not functioning. I got added at a very busy time in my life. I gotta sleep. It's midnight. Yeah, definitely. If it's midnight in Ireland and you gotta work with animals tomorrow, go get some sleep. I appreciate you stopping in, and I hope that you stop back at some point. You guys, thank you so much for the hype trade. 2 subs and 250 bits. You guys are amazing. I see that in my things. Stranger Things is a great show. Yes, it is. I am back and drinking the Stranger Things limited edition upside down citrus cooler drink while eating chili dogs. How is that drink? I didn't even know they made a drink. You should get a step stool. So we have a step stool, Kags. But said step stool is currently housing bottles of mead in boxes. So, sorry to, yep, read that. I need to do chores and start cooking myself. So much love, everyone. Happy Turkey Day and be safe. You as well, Plague Dog. You as well. Thank you, Just Margie. I have faith that it's going to taste better than these apples look. I have faith that it'll taste better than the apples look. Yeah, one of the this one's going easier. One of the big tasks on my desired to-do list is just decluttering shit so that we have more room for mead in this apartment for storing it and whatnot. I just have to get Seamus on board with focusing on decluttering, because if he won't focus on it, I can't stay focused on it. You know, I need that buddy system here. It also doesn't help if I'm like working on decluttering and then he comes in with a bunch of mail and sets it on the kitchen table and I'm like, well, what's the point? You know, it doesn't take much to distract me from the decluttering. It doesn't take much, which is frustrating, but alas, my brain. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, I shouldn't have tried to do them all at once, but YOLO, it's done now. I'm only flinging apple pieces everywhere. Everywhere. Ugh. I think I also did one upside down just based on the fact that I seem to have cut through the middle of the core. Oops. So there's that. Okay, I don't need this anymore. This can go over here and get out of my way. I need another wipey-offy paper towel here because my hands are so sticky. This also can go over there. Okay, on to making these into something that I'm willing to eat. And slice. And slice. And once I get the rest of the dough out of here, Seamus is gonna, when I start doing the lattice work, basically, Seamus is gonna wash that for me in the dishes. Because we're gonna need that for buttercream and frosting cupcakes while we wait for ye old pie to bake. So, you know, I just don't like that slice. There's not enough to it for me to try to cut shit off of it. So we're just gonna abandon that one. Abandoned. Goodbye. Ugh. I baked the chocolate caramel brownies with bananas and a lake of chocolate to make it more dippable in your... In a lake part of... Oh, nice. Nice. That sounds amazing. Is there enough here to bother trying to save? Maybe? This seems very superficial. It's barely enough to bother trying to save, but we're gonna do it. Ugh. I thought the Granny Smith apples looked bad. Holy crap, the Red Deliciouses are really bad. And I was being very careful with checking them out, looking for bruising and stuff, because I bought these probably about a week ago. Because apples will keep for a while in the fridge. 2 or 3 weeks. So that we didn't have to be among those people out this week trying to buy ingredients when literally everybody else is also out this week trying to do their last minute ingredient shopping, right? So I needed to get the ones that looked the best because bruises were only going to spread, and I guess I didn't do a very good job. Oopsie poopsie. Oopsie poopsie. My bad. Oh well, good enough. I will have plenty of apple for this pie. I will have more than enough apple for this pie. Because like I said, I don't have a deep dish. So there's going to be leftovers, and I will make it into little turnovers with extra pie dough, and I will also just eat it with a spoon, or Seamus picked up French vanilla ice cream for me last night because I needed it in my life. And that would be very good on French vanilla ice cream, you know? The estrogen god demanded a sacrifice of ice cream, and I was not about to deny the estrogen god what it needs. It's just a thing. Ugh. Slicey slice. Yeah, that was a really big bruise. That was a really big bruise. But we're getting there. Ooh, into the bowl. Into the bowl. And this is going to get covered with all that spicy goodness. I think this is cinnamon and cloves is what I read to you guys. Great spices. Such good spices. So I'm not a big fan of cinnamon in general. I don't like it when it's a dominant flavor, but as a combined flavor with other things, it's so good. So freaking good. You know that feeling, Kags? Yeah. Hey, Big Scooby. I'm good. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. You must not be UK, or you're up really late. 'Cause it's a minimum of midnight over there, I believe. Yeah, it's after 7 here, so it's minimum of midnight. Wow. It's after 7 here. Holy crap, I've been at this for 2 hours now. Doesn't feel like it, and yet it also does. You are USA. Okay. Yeah, since I met you in Content Delta / Mathman, it's one of those things where it's like, is Scooby a fellow USA person watching somebody across the pond, or is Scooby an insomniac? It was one of the two. It was one of the two. So huzzah, you are fellow USA. 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 I feel like it's just, you're required to do that sometimes. Just skip that one. I have enough apple to be picky. Have enough apple to be picky. Oddly enough, I prefer cinnamon with bananas more than with apples. You know, I don't know if I've ever done cinnamon with bananas, Cags. I don't think I ever have, because I've never done bananas Foster. Someday I'll do bananas Foster. I've also never done lemon poppy seed, even though I love lemon poppy seed. Oh, I've got a story to tell you guys about that. And I was recently told, because I was in Make It Rain's channel. I think it was last night, but she was also in... God, where the hell were we? Where were we that we were talking about... Oh my God, I can see them. I can picture them. Yorkshire puddings. Because it wasn't in her stream. It was in somebody else's stream. Glaze. We were in Glaze stream chatting. She was talking about learning to make them, wondering if it was difficult. I've never made them. I barely knew what they were, but I Googled it because when somebody wonders if something would be difficult to make, that is my default go-to. And I told her it didn't look like it because they basically look like a specific kind of biscuit. Very simple ingredients, very simple method. And Glay was like, well, maybe you should make those on your stream. And I was like, we'll see. Because they typically go with like some sort of meat drippings or gravy. And I'm not always a fan of that. It's about 6:30 here, so you're an hour behind me. Oh, it's so good in banana bread. My banana bread recipe does not call for cinnamon. I would be willing to try it though. The only thing I won't do with my banana bread really is put nuts in it. And I'm personally not a fan of putting chocolate chips in it. Which I know might be weird, but I just am not. So yeah, lemon poppy seed bread is on the docket for eventually when I have a good recipe. And there is where the story comes in. So I had never tried lemon poppy seed until I was working at my previous company. And the office manager, whom... She was an interesting individual. She was not my favorite person. There are certainly worse people out there, but she was not my favorite person, right? We just had a conflict of personality, basically. She would make lemon poppy seed bread for the office Christmas party. I brought in some of my cookies for it. It was a day where we were gonna be at work for not the whole day, but more than half. But we would only work for about half the day. And then we had like a company lunch. Everybody brought something to share, basically. If they wanted to, you didn't have to. And the bosses catered in the bulk of it. She made lemon poppy seed bread and it was really good. And I asked her for the recipe. My bosses asked her for the recipe. Other people in the company asked her for the recipe. And she told us all every single time, sorry, I don't give out my recipe because I want it to be special. I don't want you guys to be able to make it all the time and then it won't be special when I make it and bring it in. And I just am still to this day so frustrated that that was her mentality because I don't work there anymore. I don't work there anymore, so now what? How is it special to me? Like, it's not. And it would be one thing if she told that to her family. Like, I don't want to give you the recipe so that it's something special that I make and bring to you guys. But we're her coworkers. Coworkers come and go, for Christ's sakes. So I was always sad that I never got that recipe. I'll just have to find a better one. Sometimes you add walnuts to your banana bread, but you always add cinnamon to it. Yeah, I don't like nuts in my stuff. I'm just not a nuts eating kind of person. Never have been. Never will be. And that's okay. We're getting there. We're almost done with the apple. And then we can start tossing spices and stuff in them. When it said prep time of an hour, but it didn't talk about letting them sit for a little while in the sugar to juice, I was a little confused. Now I understand. It takes a lot longer to prep apples than you plan for. Silly apples. Silly apples. This pie is going to be delicious, though. I can feel it. And it's going to look so cute with a lattice work top. Ooh. I don't know if that's just a lot of bruise or if it's where it started to oxidize. Because I certainly am taking my dear sweet time with this. More than fair, yeah. Nuts just aren't for me. I used to put them on one Christmas cookie that I don't make anymore because it called for them. And it was the one instance where I would tolerate them because otherwise there was like no flavor to this particular cookie. But ultimately I decided that I just didn't like the cookie enough, both making it and eating it, to want to keep it in my repertoire. And it wasn't really a family favorite, so it disappeared. It disappeared. I removed it. No regrets on that one. It's better. This is one where I had screwed up with the apple core and had stuff in there that didn't need to be in there. Yep, so I got rid of at least one of the annoying cookies that I didn't like making. And unfortunately, I will never be able to get rid of the other annoying cookie that I don't really enjoy making so much, and that is the chocolate crinkles, because they're too freaking popular. Everybody loves the chocolate crinkles. Damn you, Steph, for asking for them one year, because now I am stuck with them. I love you, Steph, but damn you. Should she ever see this? I have unfortunately lost touch with her. She was such a good friend, but life happens. So here's a lesson for you guys. Life happens. Sometimes you lose friendships for no other reason than your lives just went in separate directions. And it's impossible to keep up with literally everybody. Unless Steph feels some certain way about me, she just, like, life was telling her to leave the state, and she just packed up and left one day without really telling anybody she was leaving. And she doesn't use social media very much, and we were never much for texting. So I just lost contact. If she were to come back in this state tomorrow, though, and reach out to me, I would 100% rekindle the friendship, right? Because nothing bad happened, it's just life. So sometimes you may miss people that you just don't talk to anymore, and that's okay. Nothing bad has to happen for you to drift apart, right? My bestie from elementary and middle/high school, she and I barely talk these days because lives went in different directions. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of online friendships that I miss, that just, we started to grow up and we went different directions and we lost contact. But again, if those people ever reached out to me, I would be happy to rekindle a friendship with them. Full speed, hello, welcome in, how are you? How are you, friend? Blah. One more slice. One more slice. And then I can have like a really good stretch because wow, standing here at like hunched over a little bit over these apples has got my shoulders all tight. Doop. Doop. Huzzah! Hi, Hera. Goodbye, apple bits. What is it, Hera? And then this can go over in the sink. And I will put that there where it can be seen and rinse my fingers of all of the sticky. Because they are so sticky with apple juice. What? Yeah, you talking to me? I can't pick you up right now. No, I can't. I can't pet you right now. I cannot pick you up. What? 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 She's talking to me. UPS has annoyed you and it's not even been a full week yet? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Okay. Now I need the sugar. So I need granulated and light brown. I'm gonna be walking around to grab this stuff. Granulated. Here are my browns. Because they're hooked together with one clip. Granulated, light brown sugar, flour, cinnamon. My flour is right behind me. The lemon cornbread is pretty good. It's a little dry, but you assume that's due to the 5 extra minutes. That's probably why, Opal. I don't think the lemon extract would have done that. Cinnamon and nutmeg. Lemon juice. Cinnamon. Lemon juice. Is this the one that I need to? Yes. Nutmeg. I need to combine them. Whew. All of the things. Yeah, they're both open. Because it's probably a case of we had one, couldn't find it, bought a new one, found the old one, and we're like, oh, well. All right then. You know? Welcome back from the ad spreads. I wasn't happy when you said someone has to come grab the rest of your packages because you won't drive in the dark. For 20, yeah, no. If it's dangerous, then I wouldn't want to do it either. Okay, so we need, I think it's what, 3/4 of a cup? Half a cup. Half a cup. That's a third. That's the half. Most of my measuring utensils are over there, so it's a question of is it actually in the drawer or is it over there? That's me with brown sugar. Honestly, I kept buying brown sugar because she didn't think we had any, right? Been there, done that. I ended up with like 10 pounds of powdered sugar at one point for that very reason. Every time I knew it was in a recipe, oh, better buy it because I don't use it very often. Oop, we still had some. Needless to say, they gotta grab the, ooh, that's a lot. But understandable. Understandable. All right. Half a cup of granulated sugar. I'm gonna have so much sugar and stuff in this apartment for the Christmas cookies. I think I need like, normally I need at least 10 pounds of sugar. I'm probably gonna need maybe a little more than that this year. I'm not sure. I have to review my recipes and I have to finalize how many people are getting stuff. How many people are getting cookies so I know how much to buy. I have a whole Excel spreadsheet for it. Ugh. brown sugar, loosely packed. So basically, I'm just not pushing down on it. And the light versus dark brown, for anybody who is not aware, is just the molasses content. So light brown has less molasses content in it than dark brown. That's all. Very simple. We are streaming Christmas cookies, Marshy. We are. It's an annual tradition, and it's probably the most popular thing I do on Twitch at this point. It will be 12 days of Christmas cookies. Flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, so 2 tables of flour. I think my tablespoon's over here. No, which means it's under here. Tablespoon. Oh, right, because I was using it to figure out other stuff. 2 tables of flour. Yeah, every Christmas, I bake on average 110 dozen cookies. That was with 10 types of cookies. This year I'm adding in 2 recipes, one of which is measured by the bushel. So there's gonna be a lot of cookies. 12 days, yeah. Yeah, you want 100 dozen. It used to be 50 dozen snickerdoodles full speed. You're upping the quantity. It's so many cookies. It's a lot of cookies. It is a labor of love. I need a teaspoon of cinnamon. Which one are you? You're the teaspoon. How perfect. They're very good. God damn it, you must has all. When I make the snickerdoodles next, full speed, I will post in the bakery section of the Discord and offer some up for sale. There will not be 100 dozen snickerdoodles. I'm not making 10 batches, but there will be some available. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of the nutmeg, just a tiny little bit, a wee tiny bit. I'm over here thinking my 3 days of Christmas cookies was a lot. A lot is dependent on what you have time for and capability of doing. I used to cram all of these cookies into 2.5 days. I would literally only sleep like 5 hours, and I would be on my feet for 16 hours a day baking, so that I could do it from a Friday afternoon through Sunday. And then I would go to work on Monday having gotten like 5 hours of sleep because I didn't finish the cookies until like 2 in the morning on Sunday. Get off of the table, Hera. That's what I thought. She wanted the cupcakes. So yeah, I spread them out. I spread them out. I try to be a baking queen. I love baking. Like, this is my hobby. This is my major hobby. And that is why sometimes I will sell cookies through what I call the bakery in my Discord to the people that have been in the community for a while that I know I can trust. They're not going to try to use my address to come stalk me or find me or whatever, because obviously when you ship things, there's a return address. But I don't actually work in a bakery because I don't want to do this day in and day out and then learn to hate it because it's no longer a passion, it's a job. Due to your job and health reasons, you couldn't do more than 3 days before Christmas. You know what? And that's fair. That's fair. You have to honor your body. There will probably someday come a day that I cannot do it anymore, and that will be a very sad day, but it's the reality of life. It is the reality of life, unfortunately. Okay, tablespoon of lemon juice, because we're only doing the juice, we're not doing the zest. Why don't you yell at you like that? I could full speed. Ugh. I could. It is possible. You would get yelled at like that if you were here and tried to eat the cookies before you were allowed to. Ask Seamus. Ask my dad. Now we're gonna toss it. I do love the smell of lemon juice. Having done half a shot of lemon juice straight. Not a fan of the taste of it by itself. Not a fan of the taste of it by itself. Get these bad boys good and coated. Flour will help to thicken it a little bit. The spices are for flavor. The sugar brings out the juice and sweetens a little bit against the apples. It's gonna be good. And we want to toss it really well because we're not using the juice that ends up in the bottom to prevent a saggy crust. Or a soggy crust. Soggy, saggy, it's both vowels. They're both round vowels. But this is way more apple than I need for my little pie crust. I probably could have gotten away with half of these. But like I said, I have French vanilla ice cream that I can put these over, and I will have extra pie dough that I can tuck them in and bake. So, hashtag worth it. That should be good and tossed. Push that aside. Push that aside. You're down to tag team and eat the cookies and then run. You better run. You better run. If your crust is saggy, you missed a flour step, right? I'm offering Christmas cookies to select people this year. This is the second year you're shipping out cookies, but first year you plan to stream making them. It is such a good time streaming making them. Such a good time. I think you're gonna find that you have more engagement than you expect because people just really love Christmas cookies. There's something special about it. There really is. Put this away. Put this away, because what you see me working with for space is all the space I got. So I have to clean as I go or I don't have space to do the things I need to do. I'm running out of room. Sink. Flour goes away for now. I think actually I'm done with the flour. It's a miracle. Because yeah, there's no flour in whipped cream, there's no flour in meringue, and there's no flour in buttercream. So yeah, I'm done with the flour. I had to send Seamus out last night for an emergency milk run because I made the pumpkin pie and then I still had the chocolate meringue pie to make, the cream pie part. And I was like, there's definitely not 3 cups of milk left in this container. And I was right. There was only 2.5. So hallelujah for Seamus going out to do the emergency. Yes, I can get rid of this. The emergency run. Actually, I might need to rinse that paring knife for the next part. So we have the pie. You're the ginger, right? The pie crust is ready. I just have to poke some holes in it. You can turn right the fuck back off. Wait, scale. Our apples are gonna sit. I want to do lattice work, so I am gonna roll out my remaining pie dough to be able to slice it to do the latticing on the top. Look, I've accepted diabetes from Technique and Best Life Choice. You will get diabetes from me, yeah. So excited to make them. I'm planning on 4 types, 3 of which you've never tried before. Ooh, what types are you planning on? You're a professional cream pie maker, full speed. Ooh woo. Ooh woo. We're making 2 different types of cream pies, but ooh woo. Spicy time. Ugh. Easier to grip my rolling pin if I don't have grease all over my hands. Seamus, thank you for the giant emote. Okay, and that can go over here. So At this point, Seamus, yeah, I'm gonna rinse this. Dishes should be ready. I'm gonna need this guy. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean because it's just had apple bits on it. And it's just been in a bowl that had apple bits in it. So, and it's gonna be slicing pie crust that's going into apple bits. Always spice of time when you're around. Exactly. Yeah, Seamus is gonna come and wash the dishes for me. He's very helpful in that way. Browned butter, dark chocolate pecan cookies, hot chocolate macarons, and eggnog latte cookies, and cookie butter blossoms. I have heard of 0 of those, but they sound delicious. They sound delicious. Some of them obviously sound like a lot of work as well. Again, labor of love. Absolutely a labor of love. Yeah, I mention it time to time. I don't like nuts in my desserts, so me personally, I wouldn't like the pecan ones, but I know a lot of people love pecans. So I have nothing against people who do like them. They're just not my cup of tea. My mom loved pecans. She made one year because she wanted them, these things called snowballs, which is basically a pecan cookie that's round, like perfectly spherical, and then you roll it in confection or sugar at the end so it looks like a snowball. She loved those things. I never tried making them. I told her all the time, I was like, Mom, you're the only one who wants them, so I'm sorry, you're gonna have to make those yourself. She loved baking too, though, so she was not upset with that. She was not upset by that at all. Cookie butter blossoms. Can we be BFFs and you send me some of those? Those are your faves? See, I've only ever done peanut butter blossoms. What are cookie butter blossoms? Might have to fight my chat for that role. Absolutely. Cookie taste testing rolls are very popular. My dad says all the time that the only downside, basically, of me getting engaged and moving in with Seamus is the fact that Seamus gets to taste test all of my stuff and eat the rejects instead of him. And I'm like, Dad, you literally have diabetes. This is for the best. We have more thickness we can roll out. Diabetes. That's right, Seamus. Ideally, I only have to roll this out once and I get all the strips that I need. So I'm basically trying to make it thin and as big as my wax paper is. Thin but even. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go, bud. Hi, Everett, how are you? It's basically the same as peanut butter blossoms. Okay, so no lie. Okay, hang on. We have the Biscoff cookie butter, and I was literally thinking to myself, what if I did Biscoff cookie butter instead of peanut butter and cookies? So they already exist. I was literally thinking about that. They already exist. That sounds amazing. 10 out of 10. We'll have to try it. Just in general. And not for Christmas. But I was thinking about just making Biscoff cookie butter cookies. And I was like, that sounds so funny because literally it's butter made from cookies. So I'm taking cookies that have been chopped up into butter to make cookies that taste like cookies. You know? But it just seems like it would be so good in a peanut butter cookie recipe. Okay, that should be enough. That should basically be 2 pie widths. Python width, which is what I need. I love that that caught that, probably for gingers. Yes, great gingers do think alike. Either you are collectible, I also eat it out of the jar. I also eat it out of the jar full speed. It's so good. I have, because these disposable Pythons come in a set of 2, so I have 1 extra. But it should work. It should work because it's longer. So if I have to, I get part of it and then I roll out the rest one more time if I need more strips. Auto mod is really weird sometimes. So Twitch just has a weird idea about what is problem language. Like Twitch just in general has a weird idea about what problem language is. There was one time where I had decided midway through the day that I was changing what game I was going to stream that night. And I tried to make my stream title say something to the effect of, like a typical woman, I've changed my mind, we're playing whatever instead. And Twitch was like, we're sorry, you can't have that title because the words typical woman being together like that is considered sexist. And I was like, I'm the woman. I'm allowed to say that about myself, but nope, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I think it makes cookies and pies and cakes to steal your stock. Smart. People are willing to sell their soul for sweets. I think they also introduced AI into the auto mod feature and it's been so, yeah. Yep, because AI is a problem. Yes. Yes, it is. Thank you. Prick the bottom. Because even though I'm not par baking the crust, which is to say pre-baking it for a cold pie that's just gonna chill or whatever, pricking the bottom is still very helpful to a smooth, even bake of pie. So, pricked with a fork, just a little bit. It helps. The Twitter bots have gotten mad at you for weird things too. Yeah, they really do. They're also going to be doing AI. Yeah, they are going to be doing AI auto clippings. Thank you. And I'm not a fan of, like, I am a fan, but I'm not a fan of it, okay? So the way the auto clipper is going to work, thankfully, it's going to be very similar to Nexus clips, which I do subscribe to try and help find moments that I would otherwise miss. Because obviously, like right now, we're here, we're chatting, and I don't have the ability to just make a clip button to, like I do with my Stream Deck, to make sure that I don't miss anything. I use Nexus clips to comb through my VODs so that I don't have to look for moments where there's extra engagement, extra excitement. Nexus clips is not perfect, but it can help me isolate those moments. And then I manually come back into the VOD at the timestamp and I make the clip and then I make extra content out of it if I decide it's worthwhile. That's what I've gotten a little behind on between October and November. I'm almost caught up. I have 3 more VODs left from October and then I have all of November, huzzah, to go through. Twitch is basically talking about introducing that, but it would instead of just giving you the timestamps, the iteration that they're talking about would automatically make the clips and then you have to review whether or not you want to keep it. And I participated in a survey for this where it sampled some of my VODs and made me sample clips and asked me what I thought about the quality and whatnot. And let me tell you what, the quality is shit right now. They did a terrible job, at least for my VODs. They did not find moments that made any sense, that I thought were particularly memorable or clippable. And I was like, what are you doing, Twitch? You need a lot of work. It would be awesome to have it as a built-in feature. because Nexus Clips is a paid feature, right? Be awesome to help people make extra content and whatnot, but they really need to up the technology. In general, I'm not a fan of AI, but if it would like to scour my VODs for me, I'm okay with that. Because I'm still doing the work otherwise. I just want a different set of eyes to go find the stuff. It's also why I encourage clipping on the channel in general through, if you can beat me out of my own spots of the top 1, 2, and 3 clippers in the month, at the last day of the month, I go and take a screenshot, and if it's not my name up there, anybody up there, I will gift you or somebody of your choice a 1-month sub to the channel. So I don't have a exclamation point clip command. You have to manually make the clips, and that's because I want them to have a title so that I know what I'm looking at here. And I also want them to be under your name and not mine, because if you do an exclamation point clip, all of them come out as the streamer having made the clip. So I want to know who to credit for the moments. Yeah, I still have apples, and it said not to put the juices in here because it's going to continue juicing. But yeah, so I prefer manual clips. The Twitter bots have gotten mad at you for weird things too. Twitter is bad. Twitter is bad. Pre-beta waitlist that you can sign up for. Yeah, there is a pre-beta waitlist you can sign up for. I did not sign up for it. I already have paid for a year of Nexus clips, even though they're going in a direction that I don't necessarily agree with. But since I've already paid for it, I will use it. I'm just cutting slices. I'm eyeballing it. I'm not worried about how even they are. I'm roughly keeping them straight by just dragging my arm backwards. Just making lots of strips. When I do lattice work, this will only be the second time I've ever done it. I do not worry about whether or not there's gaps or not. I don't worry about if the gaps are even. I just lattice it. Again, I'm not trying to win any contests with this. I just need it to look presentable for the dessert table, because I'm a little bit particular about that. Yeah, I definitely did a swoop. And I'm gonna swap these locations so that you can watch the lattice work happen versus just see me peeling pieces. Come on. Oop, I'm breaking off the ends. That's okay. That's okay. These ends can break off. Not the end of the world. Okay, now you can see the pie. I'm gonna tilt down. Oh, I do want it like that. Tilt down ever so slightly so you can see better. I don't believe in calling any of this artificial intelligence. This new software doesn't seem much different from a calculator or a character recognition software or things that have been around for years. Up until recently, I thought AI was understood to be part of artificial sentience. You know, you're not wrong, Everett. Some of it, though, is under controversy because of how it is taking over, like the art space. And they're training models, and then you can just generate art, and it's working off of things that were stolen from people. What, Smeagol? That part of AI I really don't agree with. I don't think anybody out there is going to argue that using work from people without their permission is kind of scummy. And doing lattice work, by the way, means I don't have to cut vents. Don't have to cut any vents. Oop. That one was particularly stuck, but we're near an end, so it doesn't matter. And in fact, I'm gonna grab this one from over here for this part. Now, to do the next part, we're gonna lift every other one. They're just gonna sit. And I will slide things under. Because then you just have to lay it down. And I'll slide it up as necessary. Or work from the other side because there's not as much space. So I really just need this one, and this one. And we can put a strip here. This, and this. Get another strip. Not computer-generated art, but computer-generated piracy of art. Exactly, Everett. That is exactly it. Spot on. 100%. %. Yeah, and I feel bad for any artist that has been, like, can identify that that's my art style, that somebody has, like, clearly done AI and I didn't authorize a bot to basically train off of me. I think it's Denmark is currently in the process of putting in protections for artists to prevent stuff like that. And redefining that whole thing. Because I also saw something very disturbing that happened in Arizona where a man who was murdered was able to give a victim statement at his own murder trial because his family used AI between photos and sound clippings to make him say what they believed he would have said. And the judge ate it up, hook, line, and sinker, and handed down the maximum sentence to the person who committed the murder. And while I do believe that people who commit such a crime deserve, you know, some sort of punishment, would his punishment have been the same without that AI video? That is not real. It's not the actual victim. Like, the victim is dead. It's just, it's so disturbing and it has so many moral quandaries. Definitely ended up, I feel like, with more strips in one direction than the other, but YOLO, still gonna taste good, still gonna look beautiful. It was admissible in court because, here's the thing, there had been no precedent for it. There was nothing to say that they couldn't. And they found, like, some other thing that it kind of fell under, so they just went with that. I don't know, it was really bizarre. It was really disturbing. We're good. I feel like I need one more up there, but I don't think so. So I actually still have 3 full strips that I'm not going to use. I told you I would have extra pie dough. I meant it. I will be adding this to my other pie dough for making little apple turnovers. Like, I have a good chunk left. Yeah, the whole thing was so crazy. I will say though, the man who was found guilty of murder through more than, like, he was found guilty from eyewitness reports and stuff, is appealing the harsh sentence because of the AI. Like, can you blame him? To get the maximum, when it wasn't premeditated, it was manslaughter. So it was just somebody who let their road rage get the better of them, essentially. So it's definitely one of those things that I definitely do not feel that it should have been permissible in court. I don't think, like, it just, the channel I watched it on is called Ask a Mortician, Caitlin Doughty. And she shared the video because it's available online and it's early AI. But it's just disturbing. It's so disturbing. Oh my God. And it may have been very cathartic for the family to put together, but it's so disturbing. It is insane. All right, and I'm going to tug, I'm going to squeeze a little to kind of seal these together, and then I'm going to turn it under. Oop, I missed this one. Just pull it off. Give it a little squeeze and tug. Ooh, I pulled off some of the actual pie edge. Oopsies. It'll be fine. Because like I said, I'm turning this under to really help seal everything. And then I'm going to have to go start the oven because I haven't preheated it yet. I'm always a little slow on the preheating because my oven doesn't take long to come up to temperature. And I'll pull the butter out when I go over there to preheat because we're going to be making buttercream. Surprise, extra stuff while the apple pie bakes. You get bonus. You get bonus stuff today. I will put the buttercream recipe in the Discord after. I was so tired last night when I was trying to get the last of things together that I was just like, fuck it, they can have the apple pie recipe. I'll get the rest. I'll get the rest after stream tomorrow. A little bit of fluting because I can. And it just really, in my eyes, helps to stick it together a little bit better. Then the only thing left after the buttercream will be meringue, but I'm doing that on my own time. Because I just don't feel like doing the whole like moving between the stove and the island where I'm working today with streaming. It's my little bit of laziness. Not familiar with the case or with Arizona evidence rules. However, perhaps the statement was actually no. They all gave their own statements and then they had this, so it was clearly meant to be the victim speaking. It was wild. It was wild. Having seen the video, it was wild. It was disturbing. Used to be a social worker in Arizona, and I often work with the court system, civil, not criminal, though, so the sentencing doesn't surprise me considering all that you've experienced with their court system. I don't know what the argument the plaintiff made that was admissible in court, but I can think of a few ways to argue against it. Yeah. It was something. All right, it needs an egg wash, too. We'll egg wash it because it'll look nice with a nice golden lid. So we're going to be baking this at 400 degrees. So let me preheat the oven and grab an egg. Bake for 400 degrees. Turn the oven light on so I know I've turned it on. Good, there's nothing in there. There never was, but I always check. Egg. Egg. How bad would it have been if I had slipped and dropped all of those eggs on the floor? Thank goodness I didn't do that. Ugh. Okay. Woo! The last eggs I had did not want to break at all, and this set are just falling apart. They're just falling apart. Interesting situation here in Arkansas. Only human beings can testify. That's just accepted. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And that's how it should be. But it really wasn't a it wasn't testifying. It was the, so victim statements, like victim impact statements, is more of this is how this whole situation affected me versus these are the facts of the case, right? And it's just to help the judge determine the weight of the sentence, I guess. I'm not a lawyer. I don't really know legal stuff. I'm just speaking to the best of my knowledge. Where's my pastry brush? Pastry brush, pastry brush. Oh, pastry brush. No, you're in one of these drawers somewhere. You're not in this side, are you? It shouldn't be. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Just like with your handbag, everything important is always at the bottom. But I don't see it. Is it not in here? Is it in the one little miscellaneous drawer? Hold on. I'm gonna laugh if it is. No, it's not in the little miscellaneous drawer. Okay. So where is it? Did I just overlook it? Is it actually? No, because usually what we do is this is the stuff that's like metal or mostly metal, and then this is not. A mood, to be honest, right? Bad, because we wouldn't be able to clip the mess. Yeah. Yeah. Just civil family law. However, yes, a victim impact statement is typically a looser, more informal type of test. Okay, so it is considered a testimony. That's good to know. That's good to know. It has to be in here. It's just a question of where did it end up? Because we have this one, but I hate this one. Here it is. Found it. These with actual bristles are so much better. Superior. Superior. Also, we're not going to talk about my poor ladle. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was shiny. It was wonderful. And then I made strawberry rhubarb preserves. And I just let it sit in the container for too long. And apparently, the pectin and the lemon juice will eat the finish, like corrode it. And so, yeah. Oops. Egg wash. Egg wash, so it'll be nice and golden and yummy. I mean, it's gonna be yummy regardless, but there's just something about that crisp golden pie lid. Especially with the lattice work. Yeah. The really nice thing too is I'm not gonna have to label the pies this time. People will be able to figure out which one's which. Last holiday was Easter that I made pies. And I made a lemon meringue, a chocolate meringue, and the cranberry pomegranate. Cranberry pomegranate was very obvious because it was very purple, but the other two both had meringue on top and looked identical. So without a label, you didn't know what you were gonna eat until somebody cut into it. So I labeled it. But this will be fairly obvious. And if it's not, I don't know what to tell my family members. Get better eyes, I guess. Get a little around on the outside. I can't tell you guys how long it's been, by the way, since I've made buttercream. Years. It's been years. I haven't done much with cake baking. Okay. That ought to do it. Beautiful. The pie is ready. The only thing we have left is to line a baking sheet with aluminum foil because heaven forbid this should bubble over. I don't need it in the bottom of my oven. Thank you, Marshy. Lemon juice ruined the finish on my ladle. When combined with pectin and making preserves. It ruined my ladle. I mean, it's still a usable ladle, it's just not very pretty to look at. So, this is the ladle in question. It used to be like the handle, but alas, not anymore. Thank you, Tootie. Not the ladle. Yeah, the ladle. The ladle. And the oven just beeped to tell me that it's ready. So real fast, I'm just going to put this in the empty sink. Because Seamus is so good to me. That goes there. Move the wax paper back out of the way. And I need to grab tin foil. Ugh. I am old and the tinfoil's near the bottom. I say I'm old. I'm under 40, but I feel like I'm over 40. And then everybody over 40 is like, wait till you actually get here. And I'm like, believe me, I'm not holding my breath. So a simple baking sheet with some aluminum foil will save you a lot of headache if your pie boils over. Become a thing trademark. Yep, among a bunch of the DJ streamers I watched to do shots from a ladle. Interesting. Interesting. Quite the idea. Tuck it down in there. Wrap around the sides a little bit. Okay. There. Now if it boils over at all, it ends up on ye olde tin foil and not ye olde bottom of the oven. And you know what's way easier to clean than the bottom of the oven? Ye olde tin foil. For the record. This is what you said when you entered your 30s. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I am now closer to 40 than I am to 30. And it's terrifying. Terrifying. So this has to bake. It does say to wrap around the edges to keep them from getting too golden. I will cover them after the fact if I feel like I need to, rather than before, because who knows how my oven will treat it. But We're going to bake at 400 for 25 minutes, then carefully remove the pie shield, whatever, and turn the oven down to 375 and continue to bake for an additional 30 to 35 minutes. So 400 for 25 minutes. Going in the oven. Yeah, I knew you were gonna pop in and say something, Seamus. Too close to getting another year older for you? Yeah. Time waits for no one. Okay. So I need 25 minutes on my phone timer. Where are you, phone timer? I should have preset this up, not the stopwatch, not the world clock. There it is, timer. 25, start. Perfect. Perfect. I can put the aluminum foil away. I don't need that anymore. Ugh. I don't need the giant dish for the apple remains. Actually, that dish that I made Seamus wash is probably perfect for the apples. It's okay. He knows my brain doesn't always think all the way through these things. So we're gonna save these. With the pie dough that is remaining, I will do something with that. Probably Friday for a snack. And of course, spoon some onto ice cream tonight. Because why not? This can go in the sink actually, before it drips sugar all over the island. The rest of the egg, don't need that. I'm gonna give the brush a good rinse real fast because I don't want the egg to congeal in it. It's gonna need a wash regardless, but at least it won't have egg congealed in it. Let that finish filling up the rest of the way, and there's a lid for this bowl. Just part of why I figured it would be good. All right, so this stuff can go in the fridge and I can pull out the butter for the buttercream. Stack that. Slide that. Shove that further back. This goes down there. This goes up here. Butter. Butter, 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 butter. Now this has to soften again. Of course it does. Should have taken that out a little sooner. Oh well. It was too soft at one point and now it's too hard again. Such is my life. Such is my life. So we're moving into buttercream for cupcakes. Let me pull the cupcakes over here. I made these this morning because they needed time to cool. So, spice cupcakes. They're delicious. There's 24 of them. They can sit over there. The buttercream recipe that I have came from Cupcake Gemma on YouTube. And I literally wrote it down on an index card, a 3x5 card. We're gonna do the full amount because I think she makes it for like a dozen cupcakes. I have halved it for an 8x8 cake. I've never actually really used it for cupcakes. No, I have, but it's been a long time. Too long to remember. Anyways, buttercream frosting takes 150 grams of soft butter, which is approximately 11 tablespoons. And I say that because American butter has tablespoon markings. So that helps me to weigh it out. 340 grams of powdered sugar sifted, which is approximately 2.5 cups. 3 to 4 tablespoons of whole milk. You add it slowly because you may not need all of it. It's to get your consistency right. And a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract or whatever other flavoring you want. I'm going with vanilla because they are spice cupcakes. They don't need any other flavoring, but I am gonna spruce them up a little bit and sprinkle like cinnamon over the top. I've never done that before, but it should be good. Should be good. So the step 1 is get my butter to not be as hard again. Step 1 is making my butter less hard again. What spices am I using? So you mean in the cupcakes or on the frosting? Yeah, it's gonna need, it needs a little time. It needs a little time. Either one. So the cupcakes are the cream spice cake recipe out of Baking Yesteryear. And we did this recipe about a month ago, but it calls for spice-wise, cinnamon, cloves, allspice, mace, which I do substitute with a nutmeg. And then of course, like your butter and your sugar and whatnot. So cinnamon, cloves, allspice, and nutmeg are in the cupcakes themselves. It's a vanilla buttercream, but I'm thinking about just taking a little bit of cinnamon and just cinnamon and dusting it over the top so that it has just a little shush to the otherwise plain white frosting. Yeah. If you're looking for a really good desserty cookbook, Baking Yesteryear by B. Dylan Hollis is fantastic. Cherie, hello, welcome in. Welcome in, how are you? Otter twerks. More otter twerking. It is an otter. By the way, Cherie, I found your people. They also like otters. You got into cloves and oatmeal for a while. Oh, that sounds interesting. Could do the hot water in a bowl and then dump it out and cover the... I could, Kags. You are correct. Yeah, Cherie is one of the 2 otter VTubers that I was telling you about, technically PNG tubers. And I meant to tell you this too, Cherie. I have a teammate on EBGG, Legatus Flux, who is also an otter PNG tuber. I know 2 otter people, and now 3, technically. Your family, it is your family. It is. Otters are becoming a sensation. You see, Kags, usually what I do instead of softening the butter is I just cut it into smaller chunks and then let my mixer do the hard work. You know, I'm a heathen. So we're gonna whip the butter to pale color for 5 minutes. And this is true. I didn't believe it at first until I did it myself. The butter always looks yellow. You can literally whip it pale and you'll get white frosting with no food coloring. An otter PNG tuber, you just really like otters. Exactly, but you really like otters and that's what matters the most. Let me get the knife. Need the serrated one, thank you. Yeah, because even doing the bowl method, it's still gonna take like 10-15 minutes. I don't feel like waiting that long. You know, I just don't. So I need 11. There's 8 here, so I'm gonna need 3 from this. And I could weigh it out. I'm just gonna trust my past self. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons from this. Buttercream is honestly one of the few things I personally feel that you can fudge it a little bit. You want to be relatively close, but you can fudge it a little bit. There's my whisk attachment. Because that's what we're gonna need. It's gonna protest, but that's what we're gonna need. It's gonna be like, how dare you put colder butter in here? A full 3 minutes. Yeah, a full 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Ugh. Although if there was ever a time for ads, it's when the mixer is running. Chop it up into chunks. It'll work. I promise. Get down in there. Okay. That gets our butter starting to whip. Yeah, and pre-rolls are what I want to keep off. And I don't know who can see and who can't because of turbo. Ability. So that'll work. And actually, while the ads are running, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Oh. There we go. There we go. Scrolling up. Welcome back from the ads. It's okay. I just usually don't get the full 3. Your son is distracting you. You know what? Good on your son. Yes, I love Turbo for that exact reason, Margie. Because I don't have the money to subscribe to literally every streamer that I support. I generally say if you watch regularly for long periods of time, more than 3 streamers, turbo is the way to go. It's cheaper. And it still supports them. One day you'll do that, Cherie. Highly recommend. Carrie, hello, welcome in. How are you? My son, where is she? Me going potty. Son, how much? Me, what the fuck, child? Right? Finally home from work and getting a late dinner and you can watch. Nice. What's for late dinner? What's for late dinner? Yeah, you whip. You whip good butter. It has about a minute to go on the whipping. Ooh, a pepperoni hot pocket? Nice. And I know it might be making a lot of loud noise in here, and I apologize. Blah. Since I removed all the liquid from my body, we'll add more back in. Yeah, sometimes I can make it the full, like, 4 hours or whatever that I'm baking without taking a bathroom break, and sometimes my bladder is like, no. No, girl. No. If you would kindly light up. Thank you, Watch. And we've got 9.5 minutes on the pie until I need to drop the oven temperature and decide if I'm putting any shields on it. I don't think I'm going to, though. Don't think I'm going to. How was work, Carrie? Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, let me grab the sugar. I do have an open bag. I almost grabbed the unopened bag. That would have been bad. I'm probably gonna need the unopened bag. But yeah, yellow, not anymore. Whack this off. And then get out my spatula. Should be a fairly easy day tomorrow at work. Not bad. I got to be with the small pups today for a bit. Aw, cute. And now I'm just going to scrape this down in so that it's in one cohesive central area. Basically. All right. 2.5 cups is what I estimate you need. Yeah, I can use that 1.5 cup. Yep, that will do it. That is how I'll do it. I had to think about it for a moment, which units of measurement I wanted to work with. I will also say this. As a child, I really loved the frosting part of cake because I had such a sweet tooth. As an adult, my sweet tooth has mellowed dramatically. And now, I don't like how sweet most frosting is and the quantity of it. A buttercream is, in my opinion, a very sweet frosting. It is a standard level of frosting. Me personally, I prefer like a cream cheese one because it mellows it, like the cheesiness mellows out the sweetness some. So when I make buttercream and whatnot, a typical bakery, this probably would only make 12 cupcakes worth because they pile on so much buttercream. I use like half. Must get back to baking before it gets too late, but good luck with the rest. Thank you, Marshy. Good luck with yours. Good luck with yours. We must bake all the things for Thanksgiving. 2.5 cups, which is approximately 340 grams, sifted. Let's measure it. I'm gonna get 2 in this measuring cup, and then I've got my little measure to get the rest, basically. And again, buttercream, aka frosting, You can afford to be a little bit wobbly with your measurements. It's basically a fat to sugar ratio. If it seems too stiff, you can add a little bit more fat. Like if it's not fluffy enough, you can add a little bit of milk. If it seems too wet, add a little more sugar. If it's soupy, definitely add more sugar. Frosting is pretty simple. I will say though, for a long time, I thought homemade frosting tasted like dog shit. Turns out I just don't like it made with Crisco, and that's how my mom and my dad make it. All right, so we're gonna sift. You add half the sugar, beat for 5 minutes, and then add the rest and beat again. Add liquid as needed. Sifter. So I will sift half of it in. I have to alter your big pup's pajamas. The chest area is way too big. Oh no! Better too big than too small. We have a French bulldog who likes to chew on shoes. We're working on that. Oh. Oh no, not the shoes. Not the shoes. Yeah, that's about half. Yeah. Got about 1 1/4 left in there. Sift it on in. Good enough. Good enough. I don't worry about some of the bigger chunks. And then real quick, blend it a little so that I get the butter to touch most of the powdered sugar so that it doesn't do a nice splashback in my face. Like the KitchenAid thinks is funny to do. Oh my God, I'm also so nervous, you guys. So my aunt texted me last night and she was like, hey, are you going bowling tonight? And I was like, no, why? Because last night I just wasn't feeling good. So, and I had baking to do. So I just was like, I'm not going to stress about it. I'll stay home. She's like, I have an early Christmas gift for you. I'll bring it Thursday instead. Which means whatever it is, it's for cookies. And I am just like concerned of what she felt I needed. Because I've already promised my dad, whatever my next KitchenAid is that I use, like he and I are picking it out together. And I didn't, like, I do not expect anybody to buy me another KitchenAid. So if she did, I will be A, shooketh, and B, hoping that it's not a crank up, because I don't think they would work the way I work. But if it's not a KitchenAid, I cannot imagine what it could be. And I'm terrified. Because it's one of those things where it's like, they mean well, but sometimes they forget that I have a very small kitchen, or they think I need something and I actually already own it. So I'm mildly concerned. You have a thought, but you'll see if you're correct. What do you think it is, Carrie? Right, ask first. And that's one of the things that makes me chuckle. I get wanting gifts to be a surprise, but I honestly feel like when it comes to really big items, KitchenAids, air fryers, convection ovens, if you were gonna do something like, people are gonna go camping and you want to buy them their tent, or like skis or something like that, something that's, people are gonna have particular needs, wants, desires, dislikes, or space concerns. As an adult, while the surprise is lovely, the thought is really what matters. Please just ask me first. Cookie sheets. I would be okay with that, Carrie. The cookie sheet idea has also come to me. I would be okay with cookie sheets. I'm just really concerned because she did text me like maybe a month and a half ago about QVC having a sale on KitchenAids, but they're the crank up, and I really, like, I don't particularly care for them, especially because they don't have this base. So you can't just take the thing off. Like, you have to crank it down and hope that the head's high enough that you can do whatever it is you have to do in there without smacking your knuckles. I will smack my knuckles. I have used one, can confirm. Anyways, she texted me about it because she's like, they're giving a deal. You can get, I think it's like, they were already on deal, but you can get an extra $30 off if you buy today, and you can get an additional $50 if you sign up for their charge card, and it'd be easy to pay off in 6 months. And I was like, thank you, but I don't, like, I'm not really interested in a crank one, and I just, like, I don't have the space and I can't really afford it right now. So, fingers crossed. Okay, dismiss. Dropping it to 375 for an additional 30 to 35 minutes. Let me just check to see how the browning is going. It's fine. 375. Start. For an additional 30 to 35. So we're going to check it in 30. And if it needs 5 more minutes, I will go after it for 5 more minutes. If not, I'll take it out. Because it says you want it to go until the top is golden brown and the juices are bubbly. And then it has to cool for at least 3 hours. 2 more minutes, and then we add in the other half. And then we'll get the vanilla and the milk. Buttercream is a big waiting game. The other nice thing is I definitely have enough that if I needed to make another batch, if this really will not go across 24, I can make another batch. I have that ability. I have the ingredients. I just have to get the butter out. But I'll see how I'm feeling after this finishes whipping. That's the big thing. After this finishes whipping, I'll see how I'm feeling. And what I want to do. If I want to make more. I probably should just work with what I got, and then if I need more, I need more. That's honestly the smarter way. So I don't end up with like a ton of extra frosting that I'm not going to use. And there is a decent amount of sugar left in here. I said it was about half, but I probably eyeballed it wrong. Typical me. Okay. Do that. Oh, looking beautiful. Whack it off. Gonna sift in the rest. Thunk, thunk. Ugh. Whew. It's so much harder to sift sugar because it gets sticky when you do this than it is to sift flour. Because as you might have guessed, flour doesn't get sticky. Let's do a little mixy mix so that once again we don't end up with a facial of powdered sugar. I thought I fluffed that up just a little too high, but I didn't. Scrapety scrape into the bowl. And another 5 minutes. It really does blow my mind just how pale and white it gets from taking the time to whip it. 53, so 5 would be 58. Let me grab the vanilla. The apple pie does smell good. I'm starting to smell it. Oh my god, I think this is the last. It is indeed the last one on the ring. So let me get the others. Actually, you know what? The ring can just sit in here. I'll let those continue to dry. I'll let them continue to dry. I need to work on tatted snowflakes tomorrow. Someone we know would like to buy some. Oh, very nice, Carrie. How many? And how long do they take you? Because you've been tatting enough at this point. I feel like you'd be getting a little bit of speed because you begin getting used to it. Yeah, part of me wants to be like, there's definitely not enough for 24 cupcakes. And the other part of me is like, you're really bad at estimating. She wants 5. Oh, okay, you got one done today in about an hour. So that's not bad then. 5 hours of work isn't that bad. I was going to be like, oh my God. If it takes you like 2.5 hours to make a single one, that's a lot. That's a lot. All depends on how big and complicated they are. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And you have so many patterns. Oh, so you could make different ones. You could make 5 unique ones. That would be cool. That would be really cool. 855. 55. Do, 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 do. Oh, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. It's 24 patterns. Holy smokes. At that point, you could almost let her pick her pattern and choose what she wants. Oh, I have that beautiful inner ear itch. I don't know if anybody else gets that. It's like a hair's just like tickling you inside your ear. I hate it. I hate it. I do love, though, that I have something to do this time while the pie bakes, because oftentimes I'm just like, now what? Oh. Stretch my feet. How am I doing on my step count, by the way? 2,700. Not bad. I need to get to 4,000. I want to maintain my daily steps. But 2,700 isn't bad, considering I haven't left the apartment today. I'm gonna pull extra butter. Because if I don't pull the extra butter, I'm gonna need the extra butter. So if I need it, it's softening now. If I don't need it, it can go back in the fridge. That is called being smart. 8:58. I need to go to 8:58. We do a plate up Pyron, right? I mean, maybe eventually. I haven't played plate up in a minute and I miss it. I miss it. And Tootie is doing a community mod night on Friday, and that's my typical stream day, and I'm like, I want to be there. So I just have to hope that they're still going late so that maybe I can jump in for a little bit after I finish my stream, because Friday I am doing what is technically a sponsored stream, because I have been gifted the game and enough keys for my friends to play with me. Asked to stream it for a minimum of 2 hours. It is going to be coming out on November 28th. It's called The Hunt Begins. And it is effectively, you're playing Phasmo, but somebody is randomly selected to be the ghost. And the ghost player is trying to obviously murder their friends. And the other 4 are trying to identify and purge the ghost. So it's a 1v4 asymmetrical horror game that doesn't have public lobbies. So it should, at least not right now. So it should be far less toxic. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Because a lot of us are always like, I want a Phasmo mode where I can play the ghosts. Well, somebody has developed that game. So we're going to give it a shot. See how it goes. Okay. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at how beautiful that is. Pale and fluffy. Whack that off. I'm going to scrape the sides real fast, then I will add the vanilla. And at least one, maybe I don't need the tablespoon of milk. I was about to say, and at least 1 tablespoon of milk, but Let me get the vanilla in there first and see what I think it feels like stiffness-wise before I decide on milk or not, because I don't want to loosen it too much. Oh, vanilla smells so good. It smells so freaking good. And I literally just pulled it all to the center to make sure that the vanilla could evenly distribute. There's another game like that. I want to say it's called Severance. I'll have to double check when she reopened her laptop. Yeah. I think you mentioned Severance once before, Kags. Okay. That should be good. What's our stiffness level? Do I think it's pipeable? Stay attached, bowl. Stay attached. I think 1 tablespoon will be perfect. I think it's just barely pipeable. So 1 tablespoon should be helpful. So I need a tablespoon out of the pile of measuring spoons. And the reason you want whole milk, ideally for this, and not skim or 2% is because that extra percentage of milk fat. Whole milk, by the way, is only 3% milk fat, so it's not that much more than skim or 2%. But that milk fat is helpful to stuff like buttercream. Fat is what really stabilizes it and emulsifies it. And like I said, if I make it too loose, I just add some more sugar. But I think this is going to be perfect. Crazy guy, hello! Welcome back! Welcome back! Oh yeah. That is glossy and beautiful. And you can see it's got like little stiff peaks to it, whereas before it was kind of flat. So it's malleable but holding its shape. That should be perfect. Okay, I need to do a flippity flop to have room for everything, essentially. Because I want the cupcakes where you can see them, but I need to leave my stuff out on the off chance that I, need to make more buttercream. Slide, slide, slide. Excellent. We'll do this. You can more or less see what's going on. If I do this and this and this, perfect. Just a little bit of a different angle. Those look amazing. Thank you. My feet feel like they could catch wood on fire. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I need a piping bag and a piping nozzle, and I think all of that is on the porch, the storage porch. So keep an eye on these cupcakes. Make sure the cats don't try to nibble on them. I'll be right back. I also want to just take a peek. Oh, the pie looks so good. You would think when I went out to get cupcake wrappers earlier today, I would have grabbed my piping stuff, but foresight was not that good. My foresight was not that good. Ah, da 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 da! I need should just bring this whole thing in, actually, rather than trying to sort it out here. Because inevitably, I'm going to grab what I think I need, and then I won't have what I need. That is what's going to happen. Oh, it really smells like apple pie in here. Now that I went into an area where the apple pie smell is not and came back into it. Oh, yeah, baby. Okay. I have a giant container of frosting stuff. And unfortunately, I have no space here to dig through it, so you're gonna kind of see the side of me and hear me. These are Russian piping nozzles. They're really fun because you can make flowers with them. But I really want just like a big star nozzle. I feel like number 21 would be good. And I don't know if I just have that in my bin without, which I'm gonna double check without using this. No cats. We're able to attack. Excellent, good. 2 of them did go bad, so you should probably send them your way. You'll take care of them, don't worry. Oh, is that so? Is that so? Yeah, no, these don't seem to be the nozzles that I would want to use necessarily. Oh, but that one could be. In fact, this one. Let me see if these are bigger. I said number 21, right? Yeah, these are really cool because they're like interesting patterns and you literally pipe flower petals. I have a feeling the star nozzles though are in these little itty bitty ones. Yeah, they are. It's gonna be in here. These are for like leaves and stuff. Do they have them round? Yeah, I bet this is 21 right here. I gotta spin it just right. Nope, that's 24. What about you? 18. They're not in order because that would be too easy. 22. I didn't make this. Oh, there's 21. Yeah, so which one's bigger? Roughly the same size. So we're just gonna not use the one that's gonna have to come back into a very specific kit. I was hoping one of the really big ones would be usable. Honestly. That's what I was hoping. I think this is the coupler for it. It is indeed the coupler for it. Perfect. Then I just need a piping bag. I have all sorts of goodies in this box. All sorts. The pie has 12.5 minutes, by the way, so we're making great time. Are you the last piping bag in here? Well, perfect. I can get rid of that. Huzzah! I do actually have a reusable piping bag, but what I have found is that I do so little piping that it really is kind of pointless for me to use a reusable piping bag. So the way a coupler works is instead of putting your frosting tip into the bag and then having to fish the damn thing out,